This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
The Marcus Marauders, the Hebron Hawks, District 6A football, have it here on Champion Sports Radio. We greet you live from North Carrollton as Champion Sports Radio proudly presents continuing coverage of Hebron Hawk football for the 2014 season. And welcome into beautiful Hawk Stadium on the campus of Hebron High School, where a week-long celebration of homecoming festivities with tonight's game will culminate. The feature attraction, of course, the Flower Mound Marcus Marauders coming to call on the Hebron Hawks. It's another duel out of District 6A. Hi again, everybody. Brad Denton bidding you a very pleasant good evening. Breezy in north central Texas this evening, as we brace for the continuation of one of my favorite rivalries. It's chapter number 9 of Marcus versus Hebron. Permission to broadcast tonight's high school football game has been granted to Champion Sports Radio by the Louisville Independent School District and the University Interscholastic League. No other broadcast of this origination is permitted without written authorization from the Louisville ISD Champion Sports Radio and the UIL. It's an abbreviated Champion Sports Radio production crew, which features Weston Lynch as our remote engineer producer, our spotter. Heck, we may even send Weston down for some on-field interviews before the night is done. And Weston, great to have you along. And one Peter Nielsen joins me on the broadcast. And with that, I bring in your color analyst with the question. Peter, Marcus, 2 wins, 8 losses a year ago. Hey, but these new-look Marauders have won 2 of their first 3 and 2 in a row.
Well, thank you, Brad. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into another week of Hebron Hawk football right here on Champion Sports Radio. And, Brad, it's great to be back with you and Wes. 1 week.
Missed you last week.
A sabbatical for a week. We were only about 10 feet apart on the other side of the glass at John Clark Field. But on we come to Flower Mound. You talk about a Marcus team that, as you said, 2-1, lost week 1 to Mansfield, 29-16. But back-to-back wins the past 2 weeks, 39-17 win over Arlington, and then last week in Coach Jerry Stanford's first district game in 6A, a very thorough 28-6 win over Louisville. And it's a team that comes into the game at Brad averaging 27.6 points a game, yet only allowing 17. So good defense, and you're going to see what normally we used to see when Coach Irwin was here offensively. They're going to pound the ball, but they're not scared to throw it like they have been in the past.
And they are big across the front. What, you told me they tipped the scales on average at 285 pounds a man, tackle to tackle.
285, and then a tight end that is a special player. This will be a third-year starter, and he's only a junior in Caden Smith, a young man that's been getting all kinds of offers since his season last year. So special player there, a young quarterback that's finding his way, a junior by the name of Andrew Parrish. But this team's very, very excited to play for a new coach in Jerry Stanford, and you'll see when you hear the interview with Coach Stanford, he's fired up.
Well, let's introduce Jerry Stanford, first-year head coach at Marcus. In fact, the fourth head coach ever at Marcus High School. This is a school that opened in the mid-'80s. This is the 29th varsity football season for the Marcus Marauders. And introduce Jerry Stanford, who succeeds Brian Irwin. Previously, of course, Q Britton, the patriarch of Marauder football, who was chased by Jerry Mays, then Brian Irwin the past 7 years, and now we introduce Jerry Stanford, a native of Colleyville, Texas, the graduate of Grapevine High School of the University of North Texas a longtime assistant at L.D. Bell High School before taking the head job at a smaller Class 2A entry in East Texas. White Oak was there for the past 3 seasons, 2011 through 2013, and took White Oak all the way to the Class 2A state semifinals just last year in White Oak. Something for him to holler about football-wise in White Oak, Texas, other than the great Max McGee.
And you talk about Jerry Stanford and his time at L.D. Bell. He brought a buddy of his over from that old day. J.D. Martinez, his offensive coordinator, one of his coached together over there at L.D. Bell. So a first-year offensive coordinator for the Marauders. But I've been told very clearly it's Jerry Stanford's team. He calls the plays.
I had fun talking to Jerry Stanford. I said, I guess the last time you were lined up against a Hebron Hawk, it was that first rounder back in 2008. And he said, oh, my goodness, one for the ages. I think about a handful of ball games over and over, and that's one of them. Hebron won a ball game that you hated to see anybody walk away a loser from in that one at 21-17 with a very late heart-stopping comeback.
And defensively for Marcus, gone maybe Brian Irwin, but there's an Irwin on the defensive side of the field. It's a pretty special football player in Kate Irwin. They'll line him up everywhere, very much like a bandit, and he will make a lot of – wherever the ball is, you'll find Kate Irwin. And he's a good football player, and look for Andrew Fitzgerald, the returning starter at defensive end, already committed to Texas A&M to lead the Marcus Marauders defensively. But, Brad, let's talk about our Hebron Hawks, a team that just been stuck by the injury bug. First, Isaiah Gary goes down. Well, let's start even before that. You lose your best defensive back in Omar Hicksona before the season even starts. Then you lose a young man by the name of Isaiah Gary who they think is going to step up and play quarterback. And, of course, last week the injury to the guy that is the leader of this football team and Zach Rogers. And you talk to Coach Brazel, and you can hear it in his voice. He's like, when's it going to be our turn? When's this going to turn around?
Yeah, he said that I hope Murphy's left town because Murphy's Law has ruled for Hebron in the early go. The Hawks, by the way, at 0-3, losing by 22 in the season opener at Coppell. Here a couple of weeks ago, they debut at home, play Denton Ryan, very competitive, but come in second, 27-21, the final in the Raider win. And a week ago, open up District 6A play, and just a miserable night for Hebron. Not only did they lose Zach Rogers for the season in a first-quarter injury, but they bow to Plano 35-14, maybe not that close. Hebron dribbled a tier late to take it from 7 to 14 points at a time when they needed more than a tub full.
And Brad, it's a Hebron team that we've been around long enough that they're never going to quit. And very, very positive talking to Coach Brazel. His words to you were, best week of practice we've had all season. You're going to see some changes tonight. We're going back to old-time football. You're going to see some guys going both ways, so it'll be fun to see that.
Ought to be some fun. We go to break here. Invite you to stay tuned. Our pregame programming this evening is brought to you by Whirly Ball, with locations both in Hurst and Plano. The Hebron Hawks on Champion Sports Radio. The broadcast of Louisville Independent School District football is sponsored by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. With a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram from Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, well, you get a reliable, you get a stylish vehicle, and you get that vehicle at a price that doesn't break the bank. Again, by Whirly Ball, the 2 locations to serve you, Plano and Hurst. Leagues forming right now. Visit them online at whirlyball.info. By In Command Broadcasting, a TV sports broadcasting marketing company. Call 972-851-7888 or find them online at incommandbroadcasting.com. By Point of Origin Design, a full-service design and logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products online at pointoforigindesign.com. By ShockboxDFW.com. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. By the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. Enjoy a cultural experience. Do it with your family and without breaking the bank. Visit GDYO.org for more information. Hebron Hawks football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio on Twitter at Champion Sports, Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and, of course, online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. HebronSportsRadio.com. Weston Lynch works behind the scenes alongside of Pete Nielsen. I'm Brad Denton, inviting you to stay tuned. We'll hear from both head coaches, 15th-year head man Brian Brazel of the Hebron Hawks and rookie head coach over at Marcus Way in Jerry Stanford when the pregame programming on Champion Sports Radio continues after this timeout.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
Pre-game programming continues, brought to you by Whirly Ball. I'm pleased to be joined by Marcus head coach Jerry Stanford. Coach, but again, once again, congratulations on the new job here at Marcus, and things seem to be going well pretty early.
Yeah, you know, anytime you can get started off 1-0 in district and with a winning record in your first 3 games right there, we'll take it. You know, we've got an uphill battle every week going into this district, and each week it's going to get a little tougher, and that's no different tonight, seeing one of the best teams in the area.
Coach Irwin left his legacy there at Marcus, and the job that you had, you know, coming in with your program, how quickly did the kids, you know, jump in right away?
You know, they're intelligent kids. Kids are kids. They rebound quickly, and they're very resourceful on everything. And so it's been a great term these last 7 months, getting to know them getting to know me, just building relationships. And that's what this job's all about. It's a relationship-built job. And so we're just trying to continue to grow and increase those relationships with kids and go from there.
Offensively, the thing that jumped off the sheet when I was preparing for the game is the size of your offensive line. Just big, and I'm sure they play with an edge. Talk, if you will, about them and how they progress to start the season.
Yeah, they make us go. I mean, they start everything for us on both sides of the ball. Our offensive line and our defensive line really make us go up front. They set the tone for everything and get the thing going. And so that's where we set our attitude. That's where we start every day at. And so we're hopefully we can continue that.
Coach Irwin may be gone, but there's still an Irwin playing for you. Talk about McCade and what he means to your program.
Cade's been awesome. I mean, he's a leader of our team right now. He's one of our top captains. He sets the tone for practice each and every day. He plays offense, defense, special teams. He never comes off the field for us. I mean, he had an interception last week that was critical and getting the thing swung our way, and he's just done a great job all year, just being his character and his attitude through everything he does, just impeccable.
Talk, if you would, about Coach Brazel's team, a team that comes into this game at 0-3, but homecoming crowd, they're going to be jacked up. Your thoughts on Brian's bunch?
What can you say? I mean, these guys have been in the state championships as of recent. I mean, they're always year in and year out 10-win games. And so Coach Brazel is one of the best coaches in this area, not just as a coach, but just as a person, just how you deal with them on a day-to-day basis. He does what's best for kids every day. He's a good place for kids to go to school at. And so his team's a very well-coached bunch. They're very athletic. Starts with number 22, the running back, is one of the best running backs in the state. So we've got our work cut out for us here.
We thank you for your time. We wish you good luck.
I appreciate it.
That's head coach Jerry Stanford of Marcus Marauders. Pre-game program will continue as Brad Denton sits down with Hebron head coach Brian Brazel. That's next as pre-game programming continues.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huff Hines Dodge Starts. Only $269 a month on new Huff Hines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huff Hines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Hines has it.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/ChampionSportsRadio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/ChampionSportsRadio, your home for championship social media.
Are you looking for a way to promote your business or increase exposure? Do you just need more people to know that you're there? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games to more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. Think about it. Die-hard fans just like you tune in each and every week, giving your business unparalleled access to the community. It's the perfect way for smaller individually owned businesses to cultivate a core clientele or expand their already loyal customer base. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Presented by Whirly Ball, welcome into this week's edition of our weekly chat with Hebron head coach Brian Brazel. Your Hawks trying to play bounce back after dropping the district opener at Plano. The opportunity tonight with Marcus in for a homecoming date here at Hawk Stadium. But Brian, first, let's talk about last week, that very disheartening moment in the first half. Hawk offensive tackle extraordinaire Zach Rogers doesn't get up, and the end result is number 75 loss for the season. Zach Rogers, one of the better football players you've had here at Hebron in your 15 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's sad for Zach. You know, the great news for Zach, though, is he's a tremendous player. He's already got a scholarship to go to the University of Arkansas. And, you know, the good news, he'll be healed up and everything's going to be good for him. So he'll be able to compete in spring ball. And, you know, come January when he shows up, he's going to be good to go. So I'm glad, you know, like I said, we're always disappointed when you lose, you know, number one, just because of it happening 2 years in a row to him. But at the same time, you know, it's you know, it hurts our football team too because he's a really outstanding player. But you know, but that's just the way it is as a high school coach. You know, we can't claim anybody off waivers. You know, we're going to get the next guy ready to play, and you know, and it's a great opportunity for them, and we'll go from there.
Well, continuing in that vein of the harvest is great, the workers are few. Junior Isaiah Gary, a kiddo that's contributed considerably on both sides of the ball, likewise underwent a surgical procedure this week.
Yeah, you know, we'd moved Isaiah to quarterback when we played Denton Ryan, and then he suffered a thumb injury. And, you know, sometimes, you know, it feel like that old hee-haw song, you know, gloom, despair, agony on me. You know, if it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. And that's kind of where we're at a little bit right now. But like I said, I mean, it's the thing I'm so excited about is our kids. We've had the best week of practice we've had all year. The kids, you know, the kids are awesome, and I can't say enough great things about them. They're excited about the opportunity to play this week, and you know, they want to go out and get a win in a football game, and it's a big challenge with Marcus. They're playing well right now under Jerry Stanford, and you know, we got when they're playing like that, you know, it's gonna, you know, they're playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Continuing on that positive note, it is homecoming tonight here at Hebron. It's the culmination of a very busy week, and hey, this Hebron community always does a very admirable job with homecoming.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun on Wednesday, and you know, I told the kids I know I'm an old fuddy-duddy and an old crab sometimes, but you know, I remember being a kid too and enjoying the festivities with homecoming and enjoying that. And so I tried to kind of relax a little bit. They put me in one of them 65 Impala, so me and my wife got to drive around in front of the float, and you know, so we had a good time. I mean, it was. People here at Hebron are just a great community, great, you know, just a great supportive people, and you know, I just can't say enough about how blessed we are to be here, and just again, just the fun with that, and again, just the kids just being able to enjoy, you know, being a part of the Hebron homecoming festivities.
Brian, you've mentioned, as I have, the opportunity with Marcus tonight. You touched on the new regime, first-year head coach Jerry Stanford, and hey, his Marauders are off to a pretty admirable 2-win, 1-loss start.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, I mean, Marcus was one of those teams last year that was suffering through a lot of injuries. So they got a lot of kids back from last year's football team, and, you know, they're big up front, and they play hard. They play very tough defensively. You know, and even though they're an up-tempo team, what they want to do, they're running the ball really well, and they're just trying to get you lined up, force you to jump off sides because they're a quick tempo, doing some things like that. And but again, they play a tough defensive football scheme. They're very strong on the back end with their secondary, and again, up front they get after it. So it's going to be it's going to be a tough game up front, you know. And so, but we, you know, I got a lot of respect for Jerry. He's done a great job in getting those kids going, and again, they're playing really hard for him, and that's always a good sign, you know, that the program's going in the right direction.
Brian, thanks for the time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Words from veteran Hebron head coach Brian Brazel. We go to break here. Pre-game programming presented by Whirly Ball continues in a moment on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huff Heinz' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Heinz Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute. Online at gdyo.org/jazz.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
Along with Pete Nielsen, Brad Denton, Hawks Stadium, the venue tonight. Homecoming for Hebron High School, and for the Hawks rolling in here in the 15th varsity season. They have overall won 105 and lost 62 ball games. All of that under the baton of the man we just heard from, Brian Brazel. Pete, let's talk about these Hawks offensively averaging 22 points, very one-dimensional, 326 yards per ball game, and of that, 303 on the ground.
And Brad, Hebron's got to find a way to be more diverse tonight. They got to find a way to get somebody besides Angelo Garbett involved offensively. He has been special. Over 500 yards, 566 to be exact, Brad, on the ground, and they got to find a way to give him more room. If they could stretch the field a little bit, maybe with a screen pass or just some way to get the ball down the field, it's going to help one Angelo Garbett.
We touched on the blueprinter at left tackle, Zach Rogers, lost for the year, account of the broken ankle. He is spelled by a youngster just about as good sized as Zach was, perhaps not quite as talented, but a senior in Stephen McCarty, who stands 6'6", and weighs in at 260.
Well, Stephen's a football, it has the look of a football player, and they've been waiting for him to come. And this is the chance for Stephen McCarty to step up and play like Hebron staff has thought that he could all these years. So big chance for him. We'll see Colton Chapman, the quarterback, tonight. Might see a surprise, too, in that same position.
We talked about what Garbett has done offensively. We know how he plays defense from last year's sparkling junior season. Brian Brazel tells us Angelo Garbett goes both ways tonight. Before we talk Garbett defensively, Garbett will be spelled, I would think, considerably by Trey Pugh at the running back.
Yes, senior Trey Pugh, 19 carries, 123 yards. He runs with an edge. I like Trey Pugh. Sometimes too much. He runs to contact instead of running away from people. But he's a great football player, and you'll see him run the ball. You talk about Garbett, Brad, defensively last year on everybody's radar to the point where Oregon State said, hey, you're going to come play linebacker for us next year if you want to. That's how good Angelo Garbett is.
This is almost shades of Hebron back in the day when they were a 4A school, and Coach Brazel and his staff were known for playing their better athletes both ways.
Well, we heard him. You heard him in the interview. It's hitch 'em up time. You're gonna see Holford. You're gonna see Garbett. You may even see David Brazel going both ways. But for sure, this is going to be Hebron team playing their heart out tonight.
I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, this is the 9th meeting between Marcus and Hebron. It's a rivalry that dates back on an annual basis to 2006. Overall, Marcus has won 5. Hebron has won 3. The Hawks, the winner in the most recent ball game. It was the regular season finale a year ago over at Marauder Stadium. Hebron 35-14. And with that win in 2013, the Hawks broke a 4-game losing streak to these Marauders. Just in short, Peter, Marcus has been a thorn in Hebron's side for most of the previous 8 games.
And, Brad, heartbreaking losses, almost all of them.
Well, we'll take a final pregame timeout. Our pregame program this evening has been brought to you by Whirly Ball. We invite you to stay tuned. Kickoff up next, Marauders and Hawks from Hawk Stadium on Champion Sports Radio.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2nd, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number one cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
Well, Brad Benton back at the Woodshed Choir. Beautiful rendition of the national anthem by the Hebron Choir. And have mentioned it's a homecoming crowd, late arriving homecoming crowd looking to the north. They're still coming. So come on, folks, hurry up and listen to us on your iPhones if you'd like to. Brad, Hebron won the toss. They're going to defer. Marcus to receive, and the Hawks will kick from right to left.
It'll be a pretty good breeze at the backside of Hebron kicker Nick Oriatis. Again, he will kick from south to north as we see it high atop the west side of Hawk Stadium to Dresden Ball Club's homestanding Hebron. A white headgear. That's a blue Hitman H on either side of the football helmet. A blue jersey, black numerals trimmed in white, and pure white pants, no stripes. Marcus answers in all gray. Gray headgear, block M on either side in red. Red numerals and red trim on gray jersey, topped by over gray breeches Albright and Adam Winston. That's Alex Albright along with Adam Winston, deployed as a dual safety. Winston on the far side and Albright on the near side. John Penn is our referee. He'll give Horiatis the whistle. And Nick's on his way, and leather meets leather. We're underway. Wind at the backside. This is Albright from the goal line. Up the field 5-10, seam to 15. Break a tackle 20 on his feet 30. And he'll scoot across the Marcus 40-yard line before he's pulled out of bounds. I think that's the nose guard Jarrett Lee, who got a big piece of the tackle, had help from Dallas Chagoya. So a nice return right there by Alex Albright, who will stay in the ball game as a slot receiver. Marcus offensively averaging 27 points a ball game. The offensive coordinator, J.D. Martinez, and the quarterback is a senior in Andrew Parrish, 5'10", 170, not a big one. The running back is Nate Hopkins. Hopkins with 180 yards on his 37 carries. A play-action pass, and Parrish in trouble is going to be sacked in the backfield by David Brazel, the Hawk defensive end, who will spin down Andrew Parrish back inside the 40th of Marauder 38-yard line. That is a loss of half dozen.
Well, they may be big, but David Brazel got off the ball, Brad, and no chance for the quarterback to get that ball out.
Going hurry up, hands it to Hopkins. Hopkins slashes off left tackle and gets most of the 6 lost on first down. Gets 5 of them, so now 3rd down and 11 for Marcus. A safety coming up to support Caleb Sauter is featured on the open field tackle of Nate Hopkins.
As positive, Hebron needs something positive, Brad, to happen early in this football game. A 3-and-out would be a great start.
Parrish has completed 24 of 42. He's airborne here into the near flat. That ball is caught for shy of a first down. As upended is Alex Albright, and on the tackle for Hebron is Colton Chapin, who gets the start at corner. Another one of the youngsters we expect to see on both sides of the football.
Marcus doesn't punt. They've only punted twice all season, so it looks like they'll go for it here, Brad. 4th and about 1.
Big offensive line over the football. Out of a shotgun, here's Parrish, who will hand to Hopkins, get a first down, plus plenty more to the 40 in Hawk territory. A flag is thrown as Hopkins spilled at Hebron's 38-yard line, a gain of 9 if it stands.
It'll be offside on Hebron, Brad, and that one's going to stand as a first down.
It took a Jordan Johnson tackle, one of the last walls of defense for Hebron. And here's Marcus converting a 4th and 1. Fresh set of downs from Hebron's 38. Parrish wants to throw vertically, but now has to scramble, ad-libbing and squirting his way inside the 35 and gaining 6 to the 32-yard line. Finally pulled down in pursuit by David Brazel. Nice job of ad-libbing by Andrew Parrish. What he wanted to do, the bubble screen this way, nothing there.
Yeah, Hebron did a good job reacting to that bubble screen, and really nice job by Parrish to make something out of nothing.
Here's Parrish running play. Inside Hopkins for 2, and that's the end of the way. Gang tackled is Nate Hopkins after gaining 3 to just inside the Hebron 30-yard line.
Give him another first down, it looks like, Brad.
That's Jamison Cooper, an inside linebacker. It's Cooper along with Holford, Shagoya, and Corey Eberhardt, the 4-man linebacking core. Here's Parrish. Quick hitter inside. Hopkins runs into Jamison Cooper one more time, and Cooper turns him around on first down. A short gain, 2, maybe 2.5 for Nate Hopkins, who's been the busiest of the Marauders offensively. Jarrett Lee gets off the pile. He gets a piece of the tackle along with Cooper.
Well, Lee did a good job at taking care of the center, so the 2 inside linebackers, Holford and Cooper, could get to the ball carrier, got rid of the center, and got it on the tackle, Brad.
2nd down, 8 yards to go, working from the Hawk 26-yard line, scoreless. Handed away, Hopkins off right tackle, puts the head down in a crowd, will drive for 5 to the 21-yard line. Second and 8 becomes 3rd and 3. Angelo Garbett, in at that strong side linebacking position right now, is featured on the stop.
8th play of the drive already, and this is Marcus football. They're just going to grind, and with this offensive line, who can blame them? 3rd and short.
Need 3. Work from Hebron's 21. Go on the ground. Hopkins gets it, then some. Nate to the 15. Nate Hopkins turned around at the 12-yard line. Another gain of 9. Clay Holford is featured on the delinquent tackle for Hebron with help from corner Max Shearer.
Just running downhill. Hopkins, if you know the name, you remember his brother. He was a pretty good football player here at Marcus.
Step on, hand it away. Nate Hopkins again here loses the headgear as he's spilled after gouging Hebron for 6. First hit to Jarrett Lee, and Angelo Garbett's the guy who dislodged the headgear from Nate Hopkins, who will be spelled in that Marauder backfield now by Jared Mack. And Mack's a good-sized youngster. 6'2", 205. They'll run it with Mack. Left side, nothing
Good
doing. That's fine
Cooper.
defense right there. Jamison Cooper knifing through and stoning Mack on the carry, no gain.
Troy Elliott, the guard, pulled out, and Jamison Cooper does a great job of following him right behind the play. Good speed to grab him from behind, and big 3rd down here for this Hebron defense. Even if you hold him to a field goal, that's a positive, D.
Here's Cade Irwin checking in to work a Wildcat set from quarterback. He's calling for the football. He'll run the football wide to the right side. Hebron gives chase and pulls down Cade. 3rd down and 3 from the 6-yard line. I think Cade Irwin does get the first down. Angelo Garbett there with the stop sign, but should be first down and goal to go now for Marcus from the Hebron 2-yard line.
Fourth first down of the play, and if that's any other quarterback but Cade Irwin, Angelo Garbett catches him with good speed.
Irwin stays in the game to work at quarterback. He'll go right side, wide open. Touchdown Marcus off right tackle. Fine block there by Peyton Keibel. Tackle on that strong side, and Malik Martin, the strong guard, and a 2-yard touchdown run gives the Marauders the early lead.
Just follow that right side of that offensive line that's able to get off the ball on time and very easily walks into the end zone for the touchdown.
Irwin's score comes at 7:26 of our first quarter. And here's the left footer, Depew, coming in to try to add the point after. Kent Depew. There's the snap and the spot, and the kick from Depew is up, and he's good. We go to break at 7:26. First quarter, Hawk Stadium. New count, Marcus 7, Hebron nothing.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines' model year-end sales event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Hines has it.
Well, Brad Denton, Marcus takes the opening kickoff. 12 plays, 56 yards, 4 minutes, 24 seconds off of our Hebron scoreboard clock. And Cade Irwin gets into the end zone for the first time in the season for Marcus. Extra points good, so 7:26 remains in our first quarter. Marcus 7, Hebron yet to touch the ball.
And Mr. Depew, Kent Depew, will boot it away from the north 40-yard line. A pretty good breeze into his face. Hebron will deploy a tandem of Christian Dawson on the near side and Angelo Garbett on the far side to return, trailing 7-0. Here's Depew with the approach. He'll go pooch kick, high. This is going to be Mueller, or perhaps, no, that's Sauter at the 23-yard line, carrying across the 30. Caleb Sauter will set up Hebron's offense at the 35, tackled there by Adam Winston. And Hebron will address with Brian Drew opening as the centerpiece, flanked by the guards Jarrett Farley and Devin Wright. Hayden Seeley opens at right tackle. The left tackle this evening is Stephen McCarty, spelling the injured Zach Rogers. Colton Chapin goes at quarterback. Fullback is Chris Brayman, and tailback Angelo Garbett.
Already 8 in the box for Marcus.
And off Garbett, breaks through for the gain of 1-2, and then here comes the posse, and Angelo pushes the pile out across the 38 to the 39 for a gain of a full 5 by Angelo Garbett. Again, the numbers gaudy through 3 games for Garbett. 75 rushes, 576 yards. That's Cade Irwin, the guy who just took the final 2 steps on the Marcus touchdown drive in playing at that bandit, that rover position, and roving and making the tackle on Garbett. 2nd down and 5, Hebron. Marcus the early lead, 7-0. High formation, Chapin under. Quick toss, Garbett off tackle right side, breaks a tackle, breaks 2, look out into the free field 45, midfield and down the far boundary to the Marcus 40, to the 30, and putting up a fight all the way inside the 20, and Garbett roughed up across the way and over the far boundary at the Marauder 18-yard line.
46 yards on the carry, and Brad, he made 2 or 3 guys miss, and then he kicked it outside. And while he's running down the sideline, gives a forehand shiver to one of the cornerbacks to try to bring him down. That ain't going to work. Good job there by Garbett. Hebron's first down.
Took a safety and Travis Perry to save the touchdown. Hebron with Trey Pugh now working at tailback. Pugh the handoff. Pugh against the grain, spinning to the 15, down to the 13-yard line. And that is a gain of 5, maybe 6. Jacob Carmichael is on the tackle. And that is, yes, sir, Hebron's number 19, Trey Pugh.
It's a good cutback by Trey. The play was designed to go left. He didn't see anything there. Cut it back to the open side of the field, and really nice running. And as Trey Pugh usually does, Brad, lowered the boom at the end of the carry. Love to see Trey to make somebody miss instead of run over him every once in a while, but I love the edge he plays with.
Trey will continue to work at tailback behind Chris Brayman. From the 13, toss sweep, right side. Pugh digs to the edge. Pugh to the 5. Pugh turns the corner to the pylon. Touchdown, Hebron. Call it 13 yards. Trey Pugh prances in for his second rushing touchdown of the year.
What a great job of blocking by that right side of that offensive line. Jarrett Farley, Hayden Seeley do a great job of sealing, and also a good block by the wide receiver, Jalen Goodwin, Brad. And my friend Jalen doesn't need to make anybody miss that time. Trey Pugh walks into the end zone.
Kyler Terry will try to knot this one up. He'll boot the point after attempt out of a Derek Mueller hold. High snap. Mueller, a good job of getting it down, and Terry strokes it down Main Street. 5:33 first quarter. Been active here at Hawk Stadium on homecoming night. We meet at the corner of All Square and Even Stevens. 7 aside, Hawks and Marauders.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Well, Brad, doesn't take long for the Hawks to respond to that Marcus opening drive. They go 5 plays, 65 yards in all. 1 minute, 51 seconds off our scoreboard clock. Trey Pugh's 13-yard touchdown run into the end zone. The kick, the extra point is good. 5:33 remain in our first quarter.
Peter, that's what's called tag teaming on a drive.
Where's our statistician?
Garbett was marvelous, and Perry came in relief, was equally marvelous.
Brent, where are you?
Nick Horiatis to boot it away. Winston is deep, along with Albright. This is Albright. From the 4, up the right hash, 10, 15, veers to the 20, and not going to see the 25-yard line. Got a flag flying in late upfield near the 30-yard line. Albright was tackled by Caleb Sutter at the 23, but this is pending the infraction. Well, looks like our back judge saying I'm going to wave it off. He's going to talk to his man in the white hat, our referee John Penn, who says, nope, wave off the flag, and as we were, if you will, ball game square, 7 aside, midway, first quarter, and Marcus taking over at the Marauder 23-yard line. And again, we ask that question, Peter, where's the defense? Maybe right here.
Hopefully.
Marcus converted on a 11-play, 56-yard drive. Hebron answered, covering 65 yards in 5 plays. The quarterback is Parrish. A flag is down. A ball carrier in the person of Nate Hopkins takes a handoff and sticks the nose in between left guard and tackle. Jarrett Lee is there to spin him down after what would be a 2-yard gain, but we'll see. A couple of markers were thrown very early on, and I think Hebron's going to be cited for defensive offsides.
That's the second time the Hawks have jumped, and you got to love the aggression that they're playing with. You just got to hold your water, as our friend Mickey Timms used to say.
You do have to do that, Peter.
Brad Max Shear checking in on this side as the corner. Chapin getting a break. He played quarterback and corner the first series.
Here's a little quarterback draw to the weak side. Parrish is able to spin out of one tackle from Shear, but Shear able to slow down the play enough to bring in some help in a big way in the tandem of David Brazel and Jamison Cooper.
Well, somebody put some Gatorade in young David Brazel's pocket today. He's all over the football field making plays on both sides, and he's going to get a break right now.
Eberhardt, Cooper, Olford, a part of the linebacking core, just straight power stuff going ahead on first down and 10 from the 34-yard line, and that's Nate Hopkins, and putting it between the guards, picks up a pair, maybe 3, to the 37-yard line, and tackled there by a fresh jersey defensively for Hebron in Julian Harris, the junior defensive end. Andrew Parrish with the lonesome backfield. Wants to throw. The right-hander throws and long. Caden Smith wide open, overthrown just by a whisker. We talked about Caden Smith. He's a special blue-chip recruit, spends most of his time blocking, but has caught 12 balls for 201 yards. If he catches number 13 there, Pete, he's off to the races.
Newsflash, find 82. He's pretty good. And that's a break because they missed him. And a long third down, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, that was gone for 63 yards. 3rd and 7. Here's Parrish looking left, flushed out of the pocket, stops and fires for a first down. And a catch made in a crowd, and let's see by who. That's Smith. Yeah, Caden Smith. I'd throw to him, too. Covered by Caleb Sauter with Smith and tackled by Sauter, but not before 3rd down is turned into 1st down at the Marauder 45.
Cooper got close that time, but a late block. There's Holford. Good play.
Running play, and Holford able to just bulldog down little Alex Albright on a little slot back reverse. Hebron didn't buy any of the misdirection, and Holford solves it after the gain of only 2. Marcus going hurry up here. We were advertised as wanting to get it done in a hurry offensively, and they are. Scrimmaging from the Marauder 47, 2nd down and 8. Running play straight ahead. Hopkins puts the landing gear down across midfield, so upfield for 3 and downfield for a couple of more steps. Cooper along with Heath. Jelani Heath, the cornerback, comes in to make the tackle, but all of a sudden, Mark is confronted with what for most teams would be a possession down, but always 4-down territory, a good possibility for the Marauders. 3rd and 3.
Find a way to get a pass rush. He's going to go past, and they're going to pound it.
Here's Hopkins, 1st down, weaving his way behind the left side of his offensive line. Holford again featured on the tackle, but not before. The fresh set of downs earned in Hebron territory by Mack. That was Mack on the carry. Jared Mack had spelled Hopkins and stays in the ball game as the 1st down is earned at Hebron's 42.
Kate Irwin back in at quarterback. That didn't look right.
It was a lot of wiggling, and finally a snap and a false start will cost Marcus 5. I'm not sure that wasn't center Creighton Barr and both guards, Malik Martin and Troy Elliott, all getting away from it, and then finally Barr decided to snap it.
A little malfunction at the junction there, and new quarterback. That may happen every once in a while, and Cade's going to stay in the game. We talked about in the open, Brad. He's a good football player.
Yeah, the youngest of Brian Irwin's kiddo. Remember, older brother Cole was quite a player. Here's Cade on a little fake inside, but keeps it off left tackle and picks up a whole bunch in a crowd. 1st down, 15, late flag. Couple of them flying into the air as Cade Irwin was keeping the Pistons pumping and driving that pile.
That's an iffy call at best, Brad. And the kid's still running, so the center's downfield, big Creighton Barr's downfield blocking, and all Eberhart did is push him back, but apparently that's a penalty these days.
Going to call a personal foul on Hebron. And this thing got underway 1st and 15 from the Hawk 47. When all is said and done, it's about a 24-yard penalty. 1st and 10 from Hebron's 23.
Yeah, if you're going to let him continue to play, you got to let him continue to play.
Irwin stays in at quarterback. Irwin to throw. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's rolling to the right side. He's looking to throw and fires it downfield. It's complete inside the 15. Very late on the play. The pass, in fact, called incomplete, is it? On the near sideline. I beg your pardon, I misidentified the quarterback. That is Parrish back into the ball game under big pressure from Jarrett Lee.
And Brad, the Hebron coaching staff is irate because 3 of the offensive linemen are down at the 10-yard line blocking. You can't do that. It's a pass play, and I think they're going to talk about it.
Our officiating crew headed up by referee John Penn. Well, some of us have been doing this long enough, Peter, that we remember John's dad, Percy Penn, wearing the white hat, heading up officiating crews.
And, well, it's been so long for John. His son is the line judge, and that's Jason Penn.
Generational thing
they got it.
in the Penn household.
They got it right, Brad.
Yeah, they got an ineligible receiver downfield, and it'll be marked off on the Marauders from 1st down 10 from Hebron's 23. There's the Markoff upfield, up 10 yards to the 33 from right there. Second down and 10.
It's kind of funny.
Or is it?
Old Jason Penbrad, he threw his flag, and then he threw his hat because he had both calls. But I don't know what in the world they're doing.
What was a 10-yard penalty has been deciphered now to a 5-yard infraction, so bring it back to the 25. Here's Parrish, play action in the pocket. Hit once, hit twice, and going to be pulled down by an ankle as he tries to escape. First hit was Holford, then Shigoya showed up, and then nose guard Jarrett Lee may have been the guy that got the sock.
It was Shigoya who got there first, and he came up with air, but he made him shift his feet, and the help came, and that's good. Here's 3rd and 16, Brad. Remember, Marcus is not going to punt, so let's see what they do here on 3rd and 16.
Caden Smith, the tight end, is the widest of the pair to the right side. The pair left is Alex Albright and Michael Davis. It is 3rd down 16, scrimmaging from Hebron's 29. Parrish to throw and wings it deep. Nobody home in the end zone. Oh, there's a late flag.
Oh, no.
And they're going to be calling Hebron, I would imagine, for pass interference.
Who's going to catch that ball?
The Hebron defender is Jelani Heath. Now let's let our officiating crew visit about it and decipher it, but I have a feeling that Jelani Heath is going to be cited for pass interference.
Oh, they're going to pick it up. That's the right call, my friend.
An uncatchable ball is what I'm sure was a portion of the conversation.
Donald Driver couldn't have caught that ball. Little Green Bay Packer reference there for you, buddy.
Well, you've earned that. Spent last weekend, or a portion of it, in Lambeau Field, I understand.
Bucket list checked off.
And those are always good.
Yes. Here we go, 4th down, buddy.
4th and 16, the line to gain is the Hebron 13-yard line.
Look at that first quarter clock. It's gone almost.
Chapin matching up with Caden Smith wide to the right side. Here's Parrish in the pocket, flushed out, running right side. On a hip, throws on the run, deep for Smith and incomplete. And Smith was covered pretty well by Garbett and Colton Chapin. The pressure was from Garbett, the coverage from Chapin, and it was the Garbett pressure that just heaved the prayer up inside the 5-yard line.
What a difference this defense is when Garbett's out there. He gives them a little bit of life off of the edge. And, Brad, we've been doing Hebron football for 8 years now. There's always been an outside linebacker that can make a play. Angelo Garbett making a difference out there.
Ball goes over on downs for the Hawks at the 29-yard line. Hebron territory. Check the alignment there. There's the quick pass. David Brazel at quarterback. Through the hands. Should have been caught by Hebron wideout Jalen Slater. At the 30-yard line, that was a bullseye delivered by the defender turning offensively. David Brazel. Not often you see the pair of 4s on a quarterback, but that's what we witnessed right here.
Well, I hinted some fun at quarterback, and here's the fun, and it's a package. It's a fun package. We got timeout.
Well, and let's see who has it. An official timeout?
No, I think we got play clock issues. And
that's an official timeout.
And Dad and son are going to talk about it.
Account of timepiece problems. Yeah, David Brazel has not, I would think, taken a snap at quarterback from perhaps freshman ball, maybe at Arbor Creek Middle School.
He played 7-on-7. Does that count?
Nope.
Okay, sorry.
Different when it's out there and they're shooting real bullets.
And now David's looking at John Penn saying, hey, this was supposed to be a surprise. You're ruining it.
Yeah, you're ruining my momentum. David under center. I set behind him. This is Pugh. And Pugh stacked up very early on the play on 2nd and 10. And they'll unpile the mass of humanity at Hebron's 30-yard line. And the Hawks will look at 3rd down in the better part of 10, maybe 10 plus. Jonathan Baudet, one of those big old defensive ends, stands at the trough at 6'1", 240. An underclassman, a junior, and one of the really good underclassmen in District 6-6A.
BD clock never started. So I looked up, and it's not. Now it's running again.
David Brazel, his Hawks confronted with 3rd down 10. Brazel bobbles, Brazel throws, Brazel's picked off by Easley in the secondary around midfield, and Easley still on his feet to the Hebron 40 and down the far sideline inside the 30 and knocked out of bounds by Angelo Garbett at the Hawk 27-yard line. Ashton Easley, 6 foot, 190-pound senior corner, read the pass that was thrown to, quite frankly, nobody by David Brazel, and had the easy pick around midfield.
Well, Easley, the center fielder for the Marcus baseball team under Jeff Sherman, showed why. He really ran to the football well and knew what to do when he caught it. Great starting field position inside the 30, plus 28 inside on the Hebron 28-yard line for Marcus.
17 seconds remaining in the first quarter that has seen these ball clubs trade a touchdown apiece. 7-7 our count. And that's little Andrew Parrish back in at quarterback. Put a man in motion, handed away. Mack a carry. Mack's knifed down near the line of scrimmage by Sauter. Caleb Sauter comes up, supports very early from the safety position, and Mr. Mack, Jared, is cut down at the Hebron 25. And with that, we'll conclude our first quarter homecoming night at Hawk Stadium. And we are through one with our count, Marcus 7 and Hebron 7 on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines' model year-end sales event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huff Hines Dodge Starts. Only $269 a month on new Huff Hines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huff Hines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Hines has it.
Well, we'll change ends of the field. Hebron will work into the wind in this second frame from north to south, our left to right. Peter, other ball games around in District 6A this evening. Of course, the Marauders and Hawks here. McKinney Boyd travels to Flower Mound to tangle with the Jaguars, and across the way over here in Collin County at Clark Field, they are staging that inner city one with the Plano East Panthers and the Wolves of Plano West tonight. And by the way, team number 9, Louisville, is idle.
Plano West 7-0. McKinney Boyd leads Flower Mound 6-0, Brad. So there's your scores. You're up to date.
Right here, we're 7-7. Second quarter underway with a Marcus carry. And it's wide left, and somebody's doing some damage, and that is going to be Cade Irwin. And his carry from the 25-yard line. The gain of 10 to the 15, give him 3 more to the 12-yard line before Clay Holford and Jarrett Lee can tag team on the stop of, again, the quarterback in Cade Irwin, who will stay in the ball game.
Boy, when they're going to run the ball, it looks like it's going to be Irwin who's going to do it.
Handed away, straight ahead, Hopkins, and Nate Hopkins just powers the left side of his offensive line. And from the 13-yard line for 5 to the 8. Holford, the supporting linebacker, credited with the stop.
Hebron defense, Brad, playing really, really hard. I'm got to be pleased with how they're playing. And short field this time, it's got to see if they can do here.
Marcus running play. Hopkins for 3 to the 5. Nate maybe fought his way to the 4-yard line. Eberhardt and Angelo Garbett, a pair off the linebacking core, are on the stop, shy of the first down. It is 3rd down and 2 from the 4-yard line. Marcus dressed in all gray. Sidelines left, open field right side. Here's Irwin off a play fake. Going to be spilled in the backfield. Boy, Hebron reacted very nicely. The pair of deuces on the blue jersey of Angelo Garbett.
I mentioned it last series, what a difference he is making for this Hebron defense. And here's something you don't see very often.
All of a sudden,
they're going to try a field goal.
I think they are, with Depew putting the tee down at the 17. It'll be a 27-yard field goal attempt, and that guy that does one of everything, Cade Irwin, will act as the holder. Depew, the left footer. 2 field goals thus far, has plenty of leg here, and he will drive it wide left and no good. Kent Depew misfires from 27 yards away. And Hebron coped with crisis here very early second quarter. and for a second consecutive time, able to thwart Marcus offensively and keep the Marauders out of the end zone off the board. And Hebron will take over first down for the Hawks at the 20-yard line.
Well, Brad, it looked like Hebron had a couple of guys real close to blocking it, and I'm not sure if the Pew saw that and kind of jerked it. I'll tell you what, he kicked it to the field house, but it was not even close.
Trey Pugh to work the series at tailback. Colton Chapin under. The toss to Pugh, the running play. Trey Pugh in a crowd, head down, buried after a 2-yard gain, and that's all. Nick Nielsen along with Jacob Carmichael. One of those defensive tackles, Carmichael, an outside linebacker.
And before you ask, no relation.
Yeah, Nick Nielsen, no relation to my partner Pete.
Spells it right, too.
Senior, 6'1", 235, wears the pair of 8s on the gray Marauder jersey. And here's Hebron trying to get some offense going. Brayman at fullback. Rarely, if ever, gets a carry. Flag down, and I think Hebron's guilty of wiggling up there at the watering trough, and it'll cost the Hawks 5.
Oh, Brad, something we haven't seen all season is Nathan Grant getting some play at tight end, and it was Nathan who jumped that time for the Hawks.
Wait a minute.
Heavens.
What's that, delay of game?
No.
Let's see what the call is. It is against Marcus. And
let's see what
Peter,
John.
I'll let you give John Penn
what is that
the indication. Well, the folded arms is usually delay of game. But I don't know how defensively Marcus could be guilty.
Hold on. We got a guest up here, and he knows what's going on. They're faking a snap count on the defensive line. Simulating the snap count.
I would go ahead and call that guest
That's a big word.
May I call your guest a distinguished guest?
We have a distinguished guest. Just don't do anything wrong. He'll hit you.
Wish he wasn't here.
Me too. Let's not get started on that.
Zach Rogers.
He is more than
offensive tackle extraordinaire. Now idled with the ankle injury and sharing a booth with us. Trey Pugh can't get wide to the right side after the penalty mark off, and he's wrestled down after gaining 3 just across his 30-yard line to perhaps the 31. Cade Madare, the middle linebacker, along with his bunkmate there on that linebacking core, Jacob Carmichael, on the stop, but it's enough for a Hawk first down. It's earned at the Hebron 31. Now Garbutt, after the good work from Trey Pugh, will spell Trey and check into the ball game. Hebron will line up with an empty backfield. Garbutt sitting on a wing to the left side.
It's a new-looking formation.
Chapin out of a shotgun. Will take it on a hip and roll to the right side, strung out and very well, and banged out of bounds and going to lose a yard or 2.
Elijah Jopp came from his safety position, Brad. He was a missile on that one.
Saw it, and there's a play where Hebron missed a kid wearing 75.
Yeah.
Because there was a clear path right there. So Hebron begins the drive, losing a couple, working from behind the sticks at second down 13 from the Hawk 28-yard line. Player substitutions. Grant checks out at tight end, spelled by junior Joe Martin. And Martin is stationed on the right side. Here's a handoff. Here's Garbutt. Digging outside, splits tacklers 45, makes a man miss, and then he's ankle tackled and sails for a first down. Cade Irwin on the tackle there in the open field of Angelo Garbutt, but not before Garbutt goes airborne and surfaces at the Hebron 43 for a Hawk first down.
Let me try to describe this. He gets great blocks from his wide receivers, Dawson and Mueller. And Brad, there's a little square of an opening. Somehow he turns his body and is that close from breaking that to the house, and Cade Irwin, who does everything for this Marcus team, saves the touchdown.
Now it's Pugh in the backfield, and it's Colton wanting to throw. Chapin fires this way. That's complete to Mueller, and that's a completed pass, a rarity thus far, and a gain of 3 yards. Colton Chapin to Pugh. Costello a safety, Jopp a safety on the stop there for Mueller, a team-leading 3rd catch on the year. For Colton Chapin, he's now completed 4 of his 18 passes.
Clearly something that Hebron's got to figure out a way to be better at.
That's a positive right
That's
there.
a positive because that makes your safety back up maybe a yard or 2.
Hebron will work second down and 7 from the Hawk 46 right hash. Running play. Pugh inside, ricochets outside, hit down, picks up 4, and into Marauder soil. Irwin on the tackle, and Kate Irwin's football player. Let me tell you that. We knew that. His dad, Brian, the head coach at Marcus the previous 7 years, ended up winning 45 and 33 losses, Peter.
Yeah.
Always competitive.
Hebron now at a 3rd and short, Brad. And you're right, Kate Irwin, we talked about him in the open. I didn't expect him to play as much offense as he is, but he's making almost every tackle defensively.
3rd down, Hebron needs a pair. Working from the Marcus 49-yard line, 7:04 until halftime. Running play. Pugh head down, big head his team, 40. Trey Pugh breaking a tackle, 35, and then he's finally rolled up at the Marcus 33-yard line by cornerback Cameron Hupfer. Hupfer on the tackle of Trey Pugh running possess.
Little Derek Mueller down there sending his whole 165 pounds all over the field. But Brian drew the centers downfield making blocks, Brad. And if your center's 30 yards downfield making blocks, that can't be a bad thing.
Pugh earns a break, and here come the deuces of Angelo Garbett to work out of the backfield. They'll go straight eye set under is Chapin. Brayman at fullback. Running play inside. Angelo bounces through a crowd and through the linebackers and gains 3 the hard way, weaving his way through gray shirts and finally knocked on his numbers by Jacob Carmichael, the weak side linebacker, and there's Jop, the supporting safety.
Carmichael hit him at the line of scrimmage. It's a gain of 3. That tells you how hard Angelo Garbett runs the football.
And the very forgotten man out of the Hebron backfield is Brayman, the fullback.
That's Daryl Johnston-like.
That's a
nice
junior,
job.
5'11", 220. Running play behind Brayman. Here's Garbett trying to make something
Ball's
out of
out,
nothing, and I think
It
the
is
ball's
out.
out, and it's picked up, and it's run by Hebron. That's Mueller to the 5 down the sideline. Now hang on, he's in for an apparent touchdown. No flags on the play. It's a touchdown, Hebron. 33 yards. Derek Mueller with a looky what I found pickup of a bobbled fumble.
Angelo Garbett's on the ground. I have the glasses back here, and he's just pounding the ground because he's so mad. What a heads-up play by Derek Mueller. We talked about in the open how Hebron needs something positive to happen. It just did.
Hebron earns a lead, their first in a while. Maybe their first all season if memory serves. And sitting on a 13, and that's Mr. Terry, Kyler Terry, who will turn it into a 14 as we go to break at 5:39 of a second quarter with a new count from Hawk Stadium on homecoming night. Hebron 14, Marcus 7.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
I hope we didn't confuse any listeners. There's a good chance we did because I'm the first one to disclose the play-by-play guy there, confused for a moment. Angelo Garbett took a carry into a crowd. He fumbled the football, and the old prolate spheroid, as it is, didn't stay with the crowd. It bounced outside to the right side, and a heads-up a wide receiver for Hebron by the name of Derek Mueller scooped it up at the Marcus 33, and he had clear sailing down the sidelines. It goes for a 33-yard fumble recovery touchdown. Derek Mueller and Hebron at 5:39 to the second quarter. Nick Horiatis ensuing kickoff. High kick taken by Caden Smith at the 25, and the big tight end will ramble across the 30, returned 7 yards, bumped out of bounds below us at the Marcus 32 by Julian Garcia.
To recap that scoring drive, 7 plays, 80 yards, 4 minutes, 37 seconds off the clock. Derek Mueller, 33-yard fumble recovery of an Angelo Garbett fumble. Hebron on front, 14-7.
Recovery/return. But Pete, remember, we were a breath away from taking a lead late second quarter at Coppell. Didn't happen. This Hebron's first lead of 2014. Running play, and look out here. Here's Nate Hopkins ripping from his 32 across the 40, out across the 45. The gain of 15 to the 47 in Marcus territory. And there's Colton Chapin now employed as a defensive corner on the open field stop. Marcus going in a hurry. They'll go running play one more time. Hopkins knocking at the back door of the right side of his offensive line, and nothing doing there. Give the credit to Brazel, Lee, Nathan Grant. Throw in a couple of linebackers, and Cooper and Holford all were there with a piece of the stop, a 2-yard gain for Nate Hopkins. And now Mr. Jared Mack has checked in at running back. Play action pass. Parrish throws it and deep. Ball in the air and can't be brought in at the 10-yard line. And let's identify the youngsters. That's Albright down there. And for Hebron, matching Albright step for step is Jelani Heath. And Heath was in pretty good position. Granted, Andrew Parrish hung it up there for quite a while.
That's good coverage by Heath, Brad.
Was it, in fact, Kubas?
And the ball got up in the wind a little bit and started to float, but good closing there by Heath.
Third down. Parrish to throw. Man open, throws behind him. Incomplete at the Hebron 40-yard line.
Got to be careful there. Not sure who that is for Hebron, but you got to, when there's no play, you can't lower your head like that. Jordan Johnson was ready to bring the wood, and the play was over. And here's something you don't see very often, my friend. A Marcus punt. Only, I believe, the fourth one in the season.
Alex Albright was the intended receiver. Derek Mueller will peel off as Hebron's single safety. The punter is Daniel Blaney, and as you mentioned, very little used thus far.
Watch the fake.
Blaney calling for the football. Line of scrimmage is the Marcus 48-yard line.
Timeout.
Now a timeout taken by Marcus. We do the same, stepping out at 4:50 of a second quarter. An account at Hawk Stadium of Hebron 14, Marcus 7.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
Peter Marcus hadn't punted yet, but it looks like they have designs to. Confronted with 4th and 8 from their 48, and they have sent Daniel Blaney onto the field.
Any breeze that there is, well, the Hebron folks forgot to put the flag up. That's not helpful.
That's a hat-high snap, and Blaney lifts it out of there.
That's out of
Derek Mueller will not return this. A bounce inbounds and then down the sideline and out of bounds inside the 10, inside the 5, and right at the 5-yard line. And from there, Hebron with a 14-7 lead and 4 minutes 43 seconds showing on the second quarter clock. Takes over 95 yards away from the pay station.
Just take care of the football now, Brad. And nothing silly at this end of the field. They already have the one turnover, and the defense was able to not let any points get put on the scoreboard. Let's see what Hebron can do this drive.
Marcus thus far losing the season opener to Mansfield by 13, 29-16, then winning big over Arlington 2 weeks ago and opening up district play with a lopsided win 28-6 over Louisville. David Brazo works at quarterback, and he'll hand it away, and Angelo Garbage just eaten alive there. Working behind the right side of his offensive line, Cade Irwin, that rover in the middle of it, had some help from some gray-shirted partners out there defensively. The coordinator of that defense at Marcus is Carl Anderson.
I think he came up with Coach Stafford from Red Oak.
White Oak.
Red Oak. Red Oak. One of those Oaks.
Oh, it is White Oak. And a
thank you, Brad.
Out there. I'm sorry, Peter.
Oh, that's
Coach,
okay.
I wasn't going to do that.
I got the ticker going on over here.
Pete's always yanking my chain for stepping in and correcting him. But I couldn't stay with Redo. White, yes sir. Still friends?
Nope.
Oh, come on.
I'm over it.
Hebron's got to get over it, facing 2nd down and 10 from their 5-yard line. Go toss. Right side. Garbett strung out and rolled up after the gain of 2. Cade Irwin, a big piece of the tackle. And there's Trevor Costello working out of that linebacking core along with Irwin.
Good to see Victor Miller in the game for Hebron, Brad, at a tight end. And
yes, it is.
Victor had his hands full. Irwin and the corner on this side trying to get both of them blocked and did a good job and just nowhere to go for one Angelo Garbett.
3rd down 8, Hebron from the Hawks 7-yard line. Joe Martin now checking in at tight end. Brazel under center. Play action pass, wants to throw. He's in trouble, fires over the middle. Incomplete to a very well covered Derek Mueller. No flag on the play. Mueller looks around as if maybe there should have been, but Cameron Hupfer with very, very tight coverage, and David Brazel.
He's not scared.
Nope. Nope, he pulled the trigger and tried to find Mueller and couldn't do it.
He had 2 guys. One thing about having David back there, he's a load. And he's not going to go down. He's just standing in the safety, waiting, and gets it close to Mueller. And some of the folks on the sideline looking for interference penalty, but no flag on the call, on the play.
Jake Gennard will take the deep snap deep in his end zone and punt it away to Cade Irwin. Gennard, a good punt. Irwin will not return. Great field position.
Did that hit a Marcus player?
No, that was caught by a Hebron player on a bounce. I don't think it did. We've got whistles going on one of everywhere.
That's Hebron football, Brad. I'm telling you, the line judge is pointing Hebron's way.
It's Caleb Sauter. He sure is. And Marcus coming out of there with palms up wondering what happened.
You can correct me sometime. Don't do it that time. I saw it. It's illegal touching on. Now, wait a second. Coach.
He's going to be out there rattling his coffee cup all the way out to the hash mark.
Well, now, here's the deal, Brad. If you're a coach and you get past the hash marks, that should be an automatic foul. That the flag should be out. And it's not. So that'll be a new possession for Hebron. Much better field position. Still 2 minutes, 50 seconds left on our clock, B, and 3 timeouts.
And Jerry Stanford, I heard, had a pretty short fuse over there.
Well, we see it.
And all the histrionics and the carrying on, just waiting for the headset throw. And not sure we got it. Now he's going to demand a conversation with John Penn, our referee. While they converse, we go to break. 2:50 until halftime. The Hebron lead at 14-7 over Marcus.
The end is here. To get Huff Heinz lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Heinz Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
I'm not sure Jerry Stanford talked John Penn into anything, but he had a heck of a conversation with him.
If this is a basketball game, he would have got teed up.
Hebron takes over. Boy, it's been kind of a
it's fun.
Different first half. Hebron's on the high side of a couple of breaks. Here's Chapin and company out of a gun. They'll go a little reverse and try to
nothing in there.
Hand it away. No, not this time, Angelo. As he's rolled up, big number 90, Andrew Fitzgerald, help from Carmichael.
Well, Jacob Carmichael's going to go up and tell everybody that he made that tackle.
Had quite a bit of help from the big horse there at
doesn't happen
defensive end.
It don't happen without Andrew Fitzgerald caving it in. But
6'5" and 265. Fitzgerald just a junior, and as you mentioned during the pregame, a verbal commit to Texas A&M.
Couple new wrinkles for Hebron offensively. We've seen Brazel at quarterback and lining Garbett up like almost in a wing pack position. Didn't work that time, B.
Now they'll put Angelo back at 2nd down 13 at tailback. Now we got a whistle and then timeout taken by Hebron.
Let's go to break.
We'll duck out of here at 2:03 until halftime. Hebron by the touchdown, 14-7 over Marcus.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
He's my partner. His name's Pete Nielsen. And we decided we were, in fact, still friends during the stoppage in play. 2:03 until halftime. And Hebron, after burning the timeout, second down 13. Garbett with the run, tries to think about cutting against the grain. And that's a 5-1 on the jersey there. B.J. Copeland, big old sophomore, checking in there at defensive tackle. Made penetration and got the spin down tackle of Angelo Garbett after the gain of only one. Third down and a dozen. Clock will rest at 1:58.
Well, Brad Denton, we'd like to thank Randy Rogers and the team over at Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano for being such strong supporters of the Hebron Hawks.
That too.
Are you searching for a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram? At Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge, we provide everything automotive and suburb customer service. With Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge, you'll get a reliable and stylish new car at a price that doesn't break the bank.
You know, Peter, over there in that pretty good size collection of red, the Marcus fans had made their way over here. You know, there's one Brian Irwin and Kate Irwin's mom over there, and you wonder how Brian, the perspective of it after 18 years as a head coach.
We know Brian Irwin. I'm surprised he wasn't down on the field after that play.
After the timeout, Hebron goes to work.
Look out!
Look out, outside
He's
midfield, on his way. That's Dawson to the 25, 20, inside the 10, and spun down at the 5-yard line for Hebron. That's the speed merchant, Christian Dawson.
61 yards on the carry for Dawson. I didn't mean to step on you, but not many people catch Christian Dawson from behind. Another new wrinkle from head offensive coordinator Jamie Carr, and that would work, B. Big first down for Hebron. Don't forget, you score here, you get the ball back to start the second half.
Well, they're knocking at the door. First and goal earned on the 61-yard run from Christian Dawson at the 6-yard line from the left hash mark. They'll go toss sweep, but digging this way is Pugh, and he's speared down for the loss of 3 yards back to the 9-yard line. Great penetration defensively by Carmichael.
Carmichael wants to make sure you know he makes every tackle, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's very pleased with himself, and perhaps he should be. The loss of 3.
And Trevor Costello helped out on that one as well, but we see you, Jacob. We see you.
Second down goal, Hebron now from the 9-yard line. It is Pugh at tailback.
Hawks still with 2 timeouts left.
Running Pugh, right tackle, head down, gets the 3 back to the 6-yard line. And a big part of that stop was big Nick Nielsen.
Big number 54, the offensive lineman out there too, Brad.
That's Barr.
That's Barr playing some defense for this Marcus bunch. Clock running, Brad. Hebron with the 2 timeouts left. They're going to run it down, probably run a couple plays, and just make sure they can get at least a field goal. Here's a timeout.
They'll stop the clock at the 21-second mark of the first quarter. And Hebron will continue to nurse that scoreboard at the 14-7 count, and they'll kick it around over here with the 15th-year head man Brian Brazel, the graduate of Pasadena Sam Rayburn High School and TCU, and 15 years head man here at Hebron High School. Peter?
Brad, also got to thank Steve Swanson over at Whirly Ball for sponsoring this broadcast. Corporate events, team building, and private parties are more fun when you're zipping around in Wait
a
for
whirly
you.
bug.
That up, boy.
Yes, sir.
And they have the most affordable laser tag in town. 2 locations to serve you, one in Plano, one in Hearst. We visited the one in Hearst every year at Christmas time for our Champion Sports Radio Christmas party. It's a lot of fun. League starting up now, so visit them online at whirlyball.com. whirlyball.info for more information. Big third down play right here, B.
It's going to be Pugh at tailback. Chapin to take the ball to snap from under center. Drew from the 6, toss sweep left side.
Going to throw it.
That's Pugh, wants to throw, fires end zone. That is caught. Touchdown Hebron. Derek Mueller on the receiving end of the left-hander Trey Pugh.
The port sider.
On the option pass, and he drilled a bullet there. Mueller had to go down on a knee and cradle it in, and he does that a yard into the end zone. That's a 6-yard strike, Trey Pugh to Derek Mueller.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say to you, we didn't have that one drawn up tonight. Pugh to Mueller.
Here's Terry and Kyler. Terry bangs it through, and 16 seconds remaining. And Hebron has opened up the double-digit lead. The Hawks by 14 at Hebron 21 and Marcus 7. And Peter, as you mentioned during the last stoppage in play, Hebron will get that football to open play in the third quarter. And they will have lots of momentum heading into halftime, barring the kickoff return from Marcus. Our thanks to Steve and Barb Hill. Those are the folks at Point of Origin Design. That's your one-stop shop for all of your apparel, promotional event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design, a full-service design, a logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered, products.
Sure?
Yeah. That's competitive pricing. That's quality work, and you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. All right, Hebron will kick it off. This will be Nick Horiatis, and I imagine he'll pooch it. That's a high kick. Going to be Caden Smith gathering it in, 1 foot inbounds, 1 out of bounds.
That'll be
and
a
a flag is down. Or Albright, rather, was the guy who pulled it down. Peter?
Brad, that scoring drive for Hebron after the fumble muff punt, it's 63 yards, 6 plays, 2 minutes, 34 seconds off our clock. And make sure you got this right. Trey Pugh to Derek Mueller. It's a 7-yard touchdown pass. 15.2 seconds remain, and that's not right because if he's out of bounds, the clock shouldn't have started. Remaining in our first half, 21-7 Hebron.
Derek Mueller has had his name inked into a couple of the lines on the scoring summary here.
Am I correct with that, Brad? It shouldn't have started if he's out of bounds.
No, it shouldn't have started.
But it did.
16 seconds when Hebron scored their latest touchdown. Peter, again, 6 plays and how many yards?
63.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
And Terry.
Where's Trent?
I know. Kyler Terry now a perfect 3 of 3 in the point after touchdown department. There we sit. Hebron 21 and Marcus at 7. And that is 21 unanswered reeled off by Hebron.
This is an odd,
peculiar conversation.
Why didn't they just take the ball in the 35 and go from there? There we go. Thank you. I love John Penn to death. We've been friends for a long time, but this hasn't been a good effort for this crew to start this game.
As much as not, confusion has reigned.
They're better than that.
First half of play.
They worked the game.
Now they'll carry it out across the 25 and set it down right where you said they would, the 30-yard line.
You know, sometimes I know what I'm talking about.
Still friends, aren't we?
Oh, sometimes.
Well, here's Marcus.
And they're in the winning formation.
Cade Irwin goes down on a knee, and the final 13 seconds will slip away, and we'll arrive at halftime, and a homecoming crowd, and a very respectable homecoming crowd immediately below us, will all be on their feet as Hebron heads to the locker room. Marcus does the same, but Marcus on the hostile end of a Hawk Stadium scoreboard that reads through a couple of quarters. Hebron 21 and Marcus 7. Pete and I invite you to stay tuned. Our halftime programming is up next. Hawks over the Marauders by 2 touchdowns at the half.
This Broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Do you need a boost in exposure? Want to reach local, community-minded folks with information about your business? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games for more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. It's also a way for your business to give back to the community by helping all these well-deserving student-athletes get some recognition for their accomplishments. The cost simply can't be beat for the effect it will have. You get a lot of bang for your buck, and best of all, it provides an opportunity for the best advertisement of all, word of mouth. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334 or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship social media.
We are at the ceasefire between the halves on homecoming at Hebron High School. Beautiful Hawk Stadium, the venue this evening, and Hebron's garnered their initial lead of the 2014 season, liked it, added to it, and got to halftime with a 2-touchdown lead. It's the Hawks 21, and the mark is 7 right now. You hear behind us the sound, and now the resulting round of applause for the Marcus High School marching band. Then we'll see the Marquette drill team out there, the high step routine, and these are 2 class outfits, 4 really, when you consider Marcus, the band, the Marquette drill team, and later we'll hear the Hebron High School marching band along with the Silver Wings drill team, and all, the pomp, the pageantry, and it kicks up a little bit on homecoming night. We'll later have the crowning of the Hebron 2014 homecoming queen. Right now, Pete, you got to just kind of savor this thing. The old saying is necessity is the mother of invention. And I think Hebron somehow, and Brian Brazel gave us a wink and a nod and said, we're going to try some new stuff tonight. I mean, we have to. We're thin due to injury. We've got to get our players, some of them going both ways. We've seen that. I'm going to accuse the Hawks, and successfully so, Peter using baling wire, duct tape, and maybe that proverbial kitchen sink.
And then some, Brad. It's fun. It's been fun. It's a fun first half. It's a first half that Hebron played really well, outgained Marcus, and just out-schemed them, I think, and did a really, really nice job. They had the one turnover when Brazel tried to force the ball a little bit, but defense stepped up, made them miss a field goal. So a really good first half, I think, for Brian Brazel and his Hebron Hawks. And looking around the scoreboard, if you would, Brad, in district play.
Tell me about it.
The other two games, not even close. Plano West at halftime, 28-0 over Plano East. McKinney Boyd, Brad, that's a team that you're going to have to keep an eye on. That's a pretty good football team. 34-0 over Dane Johnson's Flower Mound bunch. So,
my goodness.
So that's a good start. And we got scores from around the area that I'd like to share as well. Here's score. Colony and Frisco, some old-time road. The two originals, the Colony and Frisco, 7-7 in third quarter. South Grand Prairie, a team that people are watching because it go a long way for classifications when you get towards Thanksgiving and who goes Region 1, Region 2. South Grand Prairie 28-3 over Abilene Cooper. A battle of the Frisco high schools. Frisco Liberty, Frisco Lone Star. It's Lone Star 14-10 over Liberty. Another battle, Frisco Heritage, Frisco Centennial. Guess what? It's 14-10 again, Frisco Heritage. Little Elm all over Frisco Independence 32-6. Mansfield Summit, a good football team. Here's Red Oak.
There you go.
They're getting drilled.
You knew they were out there.
Mansfield Summit's drilling the Red Oak. It's 29-7. Frisco Legacy Christian 10-6 over Arlington Prep. How about Garland? Jeff Jordan turning things around this year at Garland. All over Naaman Forest 21-6. A game that has a lot of eyes on it. Non-district affair. Arlington Bowie and Colleyville Heritage, a game that you can hear on Champion Sports Radio. 21-14. Arlington Bowie and Lee ahead in the second quarter. Saxe and Tyler Lee. This won't turn your head a little bit. Saxe 28. Tyler Lee 21. Let's see what else we can find around the area. Grand Prairie, a team that's undefeated coming into tonight. Struggling a little bit against a Richland team, 17-7. That's a second quarter score.
Peter, I'm interested. Cedar Hill at 2-1, Coppell at 2-1. Buddy Eccles Stadium.
I'm scanning.
Is the site of that one.
I'm scanning.
And that's the only cavity you haven't filled.
At Mansfield Timberview, 21-7 over Arlington Seguin. Still looking. Flower Mound, I told you about. Still looking. There you go. Cedar Hill, Coppell. You wanted to know?
Yes, sir.
I got it for you. 2017 Cedar Hill at halftime.
Well, airtight. We talked about what Hebron's done. Pete, to divert your attention back to the first half here, I can see how this Marcus Marauder team has won 2 of 3. I can see how they're sky high about what the possibilities are for the balance of the 6A slate for the Marcus Marauders.
It's a young football team, too, Brad, and they play very, very hard. They got, the bad break on that punt that hit somebody, and they just play real hard. Then Hebron with 2 trick plays, the run to Dawson, and then I don't know if Wes saw it, we might have been in the elevator. The Trey Pugh throw to Derek Mueller for another touchdown. And,
bullseye.
And you got to think that the Hebron bunch has got to be buoyed up, and we know that Wes caught up with Hebron head coach Brian Brazel. And what do you have to say, Trey? I mean,
that'd be Weston.
Weston, what's your name?
Coach, your Hawks are up 21-7 going into halftime. It's been some unusual scorings, but you've got to be proud of your Hawks because they're in the position to make those scores happen.
Yeah, I mean, our kids have battled. I mean, they're a good football team, and this game's long far from being over. We got to come out and match the energy we've had in the first half, and we just got to have to continue to play good football. But, I was really proud of the way our kids battle. A lot of different kids stepping up, playing. A lot of kids playing both ways, and, again, they're doing a great job. We just got to keep it up.
Defensively, Marcus goes down, scores on the first drive, but since then, your Hawks have swarmed the ball and made the tackles they need to make. How proud are you in the way they showed up in this first half?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, we've been down in every game, so it's nice to finally have a lead, just kind of see what it feels like at least. But, it was good. They stepped up. Their kids are tough. They love each other. They play their tails off for each other, and so we just got to keep battling. It's going to be a tough second half. We got to play hard.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
14th season at Hebron, Brian Brazel, and that's the happiest we've seen him at halftime. Halftime program will continue after these words. It's Hebron 21, Marcus 7. Back after this.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines' model year-end sales event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huff Hines Dodge Darts. Only $269 a month on new Huff Hines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huff Hines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Hines has it.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number one cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be three things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
21-7, Hebron over Marcus here at halftime at the Woodshed. My favorite part of the halftime is when my friend Brad Denton gets to go through the scoring summary the only way he truly can. And Bradley, it's your turn.
Peter, thank you. We flashed on this thing and got it started in a hurry. Marcus, off the opening kickoff, marches 56 yards. By the way, a dandy kickoff return put Marcus in good field position, brought out by Alex Albright. And they got it underway at the 44-yard line, and 56 yards later on the 11th play of the drive, Kate Irwin, the Marauder, do one of everything, offensively, defensively, special teams. He comes in and works some considerable snaps out of a Wildcat set, and he comes in with Marcus knocking at the door and from the 2-yard line, goes off tackle right side, doesn't even get much of a a dirty look from the Hawks defensively on the 2-yard run, and Cade Irwin, his first rushing touchdown of the year, and he high steps it into high cotton below us in front of the pylon near side, and bring on Kent Depew, converting the point after touchdown. We're sitting at the 7-minute, 26-second mark of our first quarter, and Marcus has raced out to a 7-0 lead. Hebron gets their initial possession of the ball game. They likewise have decent field position. Going 65 yards, only takes them 5 plays to do it. Bang, bang, get there in a hurry. The final 13 steps taken by Trey Pugh, working out of the backfield. Pugh, his second rushing touchdown. He's a load at 6 foot, 210 pounds, but he's able to break it inside and then find an avenue and ride the wrinkle all the way to the end zone. Again, a 13-yard Trey Pugh scamper puts Hebron on the scoreboard. Kyler Terry squares it up 7 aside with the point after touchdown. This still in the first quarter. After 2 possessions, either team had scratched Hebron's mark, coming at 5:33 of that first quarter. Then, while there wasn't any more scoring in the first quarter, Pete, it was fun. Hebron had to force a turnover on downs pretty deep in their own territory later in that frame.
Yeah, did a good job of not letting any points after that turnover, and I still think it was the path, the rush, Brad, that caused the kicker to yank that field goal wide left, because he killed it. It almost hit the building, but it was errant.
Yeah, it was Depew and a very makeable field goal from 27 yards away.
And it just wasn't even close. And Hebron responds and does a good job. The defense, we talked about in the open how something good had to happen, Brad. And even though after the missed punt field goal, Hebron doesn't do anything, I believe it was after that on that punt is when they got
something
the turnover.
Good did happen.
Yeah, you got the turnover, and they were able to pick up the ball and go down the field.
And you might be able to explain it better than I. Cade Irwin was the single safety deployed by Marcus to return. He wasn't about to return the punt. Watched it hit. It hit a teammate, and then a Hebron Hawk and Caleb Sauter saw that, bounced or jumped on the thing, and all of a sudden Hebron was in business, and that was a drive that they were able to cash in on.
It is halftime, and it is showtime, but we're taking it to a new level up here in the press box tonight. Is it a full moon? There's people dancing and singing. It's a 21-7 lead, and the people are losing their minds up here.
Hey, all's grand for the moment in Hawksland.
Clearly, especially at Cliff's office over here.
Now you talk, Peter, you talk about a full moon and something that might happen over here. We play into quarter number 2, and Hebron puts together a 7-play drive that covers 80 yards, and play number 7 of that drive, one of the more peculiar plays that we'll see. Hebron turns out on the right side of it. It was a handoff inside to Hebron's very busy running back, Angelo Garbett. He was gobbled up and stoned and was going down, and he fumbled. And I was glad to hear you say that that magic word, a fumble. And sure enough, the thing squirted out from the pile. And it's laying there about on the near hash mark, 5 yards away from where Garbett went down. And the guy that sees it, scoops it, and carries it in from 33 yards out is Derek Mueller, a Hebron wide receiver. And we look around, no flags on the play. Nobody's pointing here and saying, no, he's down. All 3 of our officials roll the arm skyward, and Hebron living right for the moment on the 33-yard fumble recovery touchdown run in by Derek Mueller at the 5-minute, 39-second mark of our second quarter, giving Hebron the first Hawks lead of the 2014 season. Kyler Terry, point after touchdown. It's Hebron 14-7, but the Hawks not done. Later in that second quarter, Hebron mounts a hurry-up, 6-play, 63-yard drive, and put their latest tally on the board with only 16 seconds until halftime. And this one comes certainly off the hey diddle diddle page of the Brian Brazel playbook. Facing third down and goal from the 6-yard line. A little toss to Trey Pugh working at tailback, and it looks like Pugh's going to dig wide left side and look to angle towards the pylon. No, Pugh pulls up and the left-hander, Coxon, delivers a bullet bullseye into the end zone, and going down on an end, cradling it in very nicely with Derek Mueller, and the touchdown pass, 6 yards, Trey Pugh to Derek Mueller. Bring on Kyler Terry, knocked through a point after touchdown at the 16-second mark, and Hebron has opened up their biggest lead of the ball game at 21-7 as we look forward to the second half.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and ask you a question, and I think I know your answer. What was the percentage of Derek Mueller being part of 2 touchdowns tonight for Hebron? The young man's a special baseball player. We saw him in the playoffs last year and really contributed to Steve Stone's program, and he's got big things ahead of him as a baseball player, but not so fast. He does a pretty good job on the football team. He picked the ball up like the center fielder he is on the touchdown run, and then sure hands in the end zone. The ball by Pugh was down, but as we've seen before, and you're taught, get your hands on the ground, get your hands under, and come up with the ball, and it's exactly what Derek Mueller did. Brad, I got some numbers for you here in the first half. As the Hebron band doing a beautiful job here.
All ears.
At halftime, and I'm telling you, the support staff around here is having a great time. It's never like what is it, a full moon tonight? Here we go, statistically, before I get in trouble. Hebron, first for Flower Mound Marcus, 10 first downs in the first half. They rushed the ball for 103 yards on 27 carries, 18 passing yards, so 121 yards of total offense from Marcus. For Hebron, 20 carries, only 6 first downs, and I question that, but 20 carries, 164 yards, 10 passing yards, which is a lot for Hebron these days. 174 yards of total yards for the Hawks. 174 to 121. Hebron outgains Marcus. Individual numbers, I have a few for you. Nate Hopkins, 11 carries, 54 yards for Marcus. Jared Mack, 5 carries, 28 yards. Kate Irwin, 5 carries, 20 yards, and a touchdown. For Hebron, Angelo Garbett, 9 carries, 64 yards. Christian Dawson, the 1 carry, 61 yards. Trey Pugh, what a night for young Trey. 5 carries, 16 yards, and a touchdown. Trey Pugh also has a touchdown pass to Derek Mueller for 3 yards. And I tell you what, homecoming, this place jacked up. Have you seen the crowd downstairs?
Big crowd, very nicely done.
Very nicely done. And we got some time here. We can talk about anything you want to talk about.
Well, let me remind our listening audience that our halftime programming this evening is brought to you by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. With a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram from Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, well, you get a reliable, you get a stylish new vehicle, and you'll get that vehicle at a price that doesn't break the bank. Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano.
Trying to think about what we want to talk about here.
Oh,
I watched Plano. I watched Plano and Allen.
I was going to ask, Pete. I was going to get to maybe
got to work the game down on the sideline, working with Thomas Lee, Ryan Mueller, and Alex Mueller, Alex Sterling last night, and over at John Clark Field, and everybody knows the situation with the stadium in Allen, and didn't know what to expect. To be honest with you, Brad, didn't know how the Allen.
Was Allen the home team?
No, Allen is not a home team all year. They will not be a home team. They are always on the far side. So for this year, now next year, I'm told that anytime they're going to make it up next year somehow. I don't know how, but somehow, yes, they won't be a home team this year. They're always going to be on the far side. So showed up, and the 26 buses show up, and the Army band
That'd
shows
be for the
up.
band, yep.
They take up 2.5 full sections of John Clark's visitor section.
Let's remember these youngsters are having a positive experience with their extracurriculars.
Okay, so it's 14-5. Ran into Gerald Brent's on the sideline. He made sure I said hello. Say hello to Brad.
Thank you.
Brad, hello. And there's maybe 14-5 at John Clark Field. I'm telling you, at kickoff, there's probably 12,000 people there. The Allen side, full. The Plano side, not so full, but close. But to the game, I got to tell you, and I'll go. You guys know as well as I do, I am not a fan of Allen football, and documented, and almost got fired last year to the point of that's how I don't like Allen football. I'm impressed with this Allen football team this year. That quarterback, Kyler Murray, I don't know what they're going to do at A&M next year because he can play right now. He is untackleable. He is and the way the ball comes out of his hand, it's just special. It's effortless, and you can't tackle him. He made some Plano, as you have said many times. Many Plano defenders came out looking out their ear hole. There was no tackle. There was just no tackling the young man. But more than anything else, what I was impressed with is the play of the offensive line. They have 3 Division I signees, the 2 tackles. 1 tackle's going to Oklahoma. 1 tackle's going to Texas A&M. And a center who is just as good at 6'6", 270, that's going to UNT. And the other 2 guards, they're going somewhere. They just don't know where yet. They're just so darn talented. And you know what? They're coached so well. And defensively was where people were talking about this ain't a typical Allen defense.
They just don't return a lot.
Just don't buy into the hype because they don't have the superstars that like last year's defense with the 4 or 5 guys that went on played Division I. They have 2 or 3 guys that are really good, but the other 9 are ridiculously fast. And we know how good Brandon Stevens is. Couldn't get on track. So watch out for Allen, and Hebron's got them in 3 weeks, so something to look forward to.
And then, Pete, let me ask you this. Historically, at least recent history, since Allen has hit their level and stayed there, by the way, one of the things that separated Allen from other teams is not just frontline talent, not just the starters, but the waves of talented people they bring in, the depth that Allen has, and it's just mind-boggling to watch a kid and see him at 2 or 3 on a depth chart make a play that some starters can't make other places.
Well, it goes back to the original premise of why I'm not a fan. It's when you have a city that big and you have that many kiddos going to one high school, it's easy. It's easy to have that many options. And, well, Brad, I'm going to let you do this because you're the senior statesman of this broadcast group. You get to announce the king and queen.
Well, let me see what we've come up with.
I didn't prep you. I'm sorry.
Mr. Wisenhunt is.
You got a drum roll here, Wes? Can you do everything else around here? Can we get drums? Uh-oh. Here we go. Here's
Homecoming Queen, Hebron High School, 2014. Congratulations, Miss Brooke Williams.
Congratulations.
And the Homecoming King is a fella out there in a Hawk jersey, and it's a Hawk jersey that is splashed by the numbers 4 and 2, and that is senior fullback Mr. Victor Miller. Congratulations, Victor. Hebron High School Homecoming King 2014. So we got a queen with a crown in Brooke Williams and a king in Victor Miller. Congratulations to those 2. I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the Hebron community, the high school, they just collaborate to do a terrific job in the week-long celebration that is homecoming, that is culminated by the Friday night football game. And you can't beat it when the hometown guys are having to go their way, and Hebron is at the moment as the Hawks lead the Marcus Marauders. Our halftime count at 21-7. Our halftime programming will continue after this. Oh, you say stay
No, we got
to
keep going. It ain't done down there, and we still got lots of stuff to talk about.
All right, we'll stretch it out. Pete, I'm taking a look at something I haven't got to.
Well, go ahead.
Game 4 for crying out loud. And I
the
haven't
ratings?
been able to take a look at my Associated Press Texas schoolboy football top 10s. And you know, when we look, Peter, we were talking pregame, how the Southeast Conference dominates the college football polls. Well, North Texas is dominating the Class 6A statewide polls.
Why don't you start at number 10?
In a similar way. Number 10, the Katy Tigers, a one-loss team at 2-1. At number 9, the locals, Denton Geyer, the Wildcats, also at 2-1. At number 8, how about Dallas Skyline at 3-0?
Big win last week over Cedar Hill.
It was, in fact. Yes, sir. Coach Samples has the boys going on. And you'd like to see Skyline make that really deep playoff penetration one of these years. It seems like they always are running into a face card pretty doggone early and get eliminated first, second, third round. Nevertheless, Skyline at number 8. Manville at number 7, 3-0. Pearland's Oilers likewise at 3-0. stand in at number 6. Now, for the top 5 are local entries. At 5, South Lake Carroll's 3-0 Dragons. At number 4, a ball club that played DeSoto off their feet last night, nevertheless ended up on the short side of a 29-24 final at a ball game played at McLean Stadium down there at Baylor, Central Texas. DeSoto defeats number 4 Cibolo Steel last night, so Cibolo Steel drops to 3 wins and 1 loss as we go into next week. The top 3, number 3, Euless Trinity at 3-0. Number 2, DeSoto now elevates their record to now 4-0 with the win over Cibolo Steel. And those Allen Eagles that you mentioned, a winner last night and in a big way over the Plano Wildcats. Allen now 4-0 after last night's final, Eagles 42 and the Wildcats 3.
Brad, let's take a look at the schedule for the Hawks the rest of the way. Hebron next week will travel over to Max Goldsmith Stadium and take on a Louisville bunch that's steadily improving. And the following week, it's Allen here.
Nope, get a week off.
Okay.
Don't forget that bye.
Oh, yeah, the bye week. And Hebron can rest up and see if you can get some folks back. You may get Omar Higgs-Ono back, and that helps. And who knows, maybe you get Isaiah Gary back, and that's got to help. So
you got at Louisville next week. That's the 26th. And
right.
By the way, that's Friday, October the 3rd, that Hebron will be idle.
Correct. That's why it's not on my sheet.
And, and it's October the 10th that the Allen Eagles and the big band and all the rest of it will darken the door here at Hawk Stadium.
Then they close out the rest of the season on October 17th. They travel over to Flower Mound. October 24th, home for Plano West. October 31st, over at Tom Kimbrough Stadium, Plano East. And the finale here at the Woodshed, McKinney Boyd. Brad, that'll do it for halftime programming. Teams are coming back on the field.
Well, we go to break. Invite you to stay tuned. The back half of this one coming your way after the timeout. Our halftime count, Hebron 21, Marcus 7.
The end is here. To get Huff Heinz' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Heinz Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
Shell experts here to talk about the protective shield you see at Shell stations all over the country. Featuring us. It's there to remind you that no other gasoline protects your engine better than Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines. Mm-hmm. Now with 20% more cleaning agents than before.
Performance-robbing gunk doesn't stand a chance because your intake valves and fuel injectors are protected.
Actively shielded.
Hence the big protective shield here.
So try Shell nitrogen-enriched gasolines today. No other gasoline protects your engine better.
For quality auto service and repair, see the folks at Flat Shell on Preston Road at I-635.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
autumn wind was a pirate. It was my best John Placenta, Peter. And you look up with palms up.
You ruined the song. It's the greatest song in football history. And, well, you did good. You did good, but while we got a minute.
Go right ahead.
A key member of the team is missing.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm tired. We miss you, Trent. I don't know if. Let's hope you're in Phoenix and you're doing something fun. But
he's not starving for entertainment.
You don't
to the
think he's
extent
you don't
that
think
he's
tuned
listening?
in
To Champion Sports Radio? No.
Okay. Well,
he may listen to the podcast.
Well, let me give you some updated scores in district. Okay. More of the same. Plano West 35, Plano East nothing. McKinney Boyd 37. Flower Mound, nothing. And let me check on my running back friend while we got a minute here. Derek Scrivens, 19 carries, 187 yards in the first half. And you know, I felt bad, Brad. I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago, McKinney Boyd went over and beat Coppell, and I was going nuts over the night that Scrivens had. I got so lost in that. Another young man running back at Plano West, he broke a national record that night, running for over 400 yards. I
think it was like 484.
Talk of Soso Jamambo, and that's a young man we've watched for the last couple of years over at Plano West, and Soso's at it again tonight. 20 carries, 185 yards in the first half. That's an average of 9.25 and 3 touchdowns for one Soso Jamambo. And if you read the article in the paper, great article by our friend Matt Wixon today in the paper about Soso, football's not his favorite sport. Basketball is, and he is a basketball player.
He's terrific.
Yeah, he really
is. As good as he is basketball-wise, I still want to see him with the pads on. I think that's where he'll go.
He is special. I talked about Kyle. Look at this. Dual teams entering the field at the same time. It's a race. And you talk about how elusive Kyler Murray is. Soso Jamambo just as
he can make you miss.
Well, Hebron gets the ball. Start the second half, buddy.
Two very proud programs. Either one of them can throw the chest out a little bit and look at past state championships. Hebron as a Class 4A school, Division II, 2005. And Marcus as a 5A school, won it all in 1997. This Marcus team back in that era were on the cutting edge of the spread offense and throwing it around under the man who I do call the patriarch of Marcus Marauder football, the original head coach in Q Britton. 14 overall trips in the previous 28 varsity seasons for Marcus, a playoff record for the Marauders, 25 wins, 13 losses. Hebron, meanwhile, through 14 completed seasons, have made 10 playoff appearances, and overall in the playoff, the Hawks have won 14 while losing 9. Hebron does receive to open play third quarter. Deep for the Hawks, Angelo Garbett along with Christian Dawson. It's Garbett on the near side and Dawson on the far side. We will look for Kent Depew, to kick it off for the Marcus Marauders with the wind at the backside here in the third quarter. From south to north, the kickoff forthcoming from Depew. In fact, that's Blaney, Daniel Blaney, who's going to kick it off. A little pooch kick up in the air and caught at the 22 and returned and dancing to the 25 and out to the 30 and rolled down to the 31-yard line. Let's get an ID on the Hebron return man. Popping up from the bottom of the pile for the Hawks is Derek Mueller.
He's everywhere.
Mueller on the return to his 32. Trevor Costello is on the kick cover tackle. Hebron offensively with Brian Drew at center. Devin Wright and Jarrett Farley get the start at the guards. Hayden Seeley operating at right tackle and Stephen McCarty at left tackle. Colton Chapin opens at quarterback. Beg your pardon, that's David Brazel checking in at quarterback from a pistol set. The snap to Brazel, but whistles have been blown and flags are down, and Hebron turning 1st and 10 to 1st and 15 on the false start penalty. The snap from Drew was ankle high to David Brazel, and that's a That's a hole you hate to have to see David and company have to dig out of. Not even able to get the third quarter underway. Line of scrimmage now to the 27 Hawks territory. Hebron's lead at 21-7 very early on quarter number 3. Brazel again out of a pistol set with Garbett behind. The handoffs to Garbett, off tackle right side, stays on the feet, breaks one tackle and spins, and a hard-earned gain of 6.5 out across his 33. And big Andrew Fitzgerald, the highly touted junior defensive end, is on the stop of Garbett. Nice run, Angelo.
Angelo's got his Superman shoes on tonight. I don't know if you noticed that. He's got the Superman theme shoes going. And Brad, I got to tell you something. I have a feeling Jerry Stanford had to come to reality meeting with his football team as they're firing up off the ball here. So Hebron can do something this drive. It would be really, really nice because they're fired up.
2nd down and 9. Here's Brazel to throw. Shoots a pass complete to Mueller. The catch at the 37-yard line, a gain of 4 shy of the first down. The coverage from Matt Hawkins, a tackle Hawkins, and then closing linebacker Jacob Carmichael. Way down the sure-handed Derek Mueller, a third catch of the night for Mueller at the 38-yard line.
David Brazel's first completion as a varsity quarterback.
Little hitch
to the right team.
3 yards up the field.
A little malfunction here at the junction.
Got Caleb Sauter now working on
that
a slot to the right side. I think maybe it's Chapin, handed away. Dawson.
Yeah.
That won't work this time. Last time it popped for 61, and Hebron will be forced to punt it away. On a 2-yard loss, Carmichael, the busy linebacker, on the stop there.
He's going to get tired.
Dawson.
Oh, Carmichael, he's going to get tired running around in circles after he makes a tackle, but that was a nice play. They sniffed that out. Hebron went to the well maybe one too many times with that play, and good job by the Marcus defense and under Carl Anderson to snuff that one out.
Stanton Turley to make the deep pass to his punter in Jake Gennard. He'll pull it down, get a kick away. Off the side of the foot, Kate Irwin will not return it. He'll watch it take a very friendly Hebron hop from above the 40 and tumbling inside the 30 and inside the 25 and down to the 24-yard line. Gennard, the punt touchdown by our homecoming king in Victor Miller at the Marauder 24-yard line.
Now let's see what they do offensively. We saw them really want to pound the ball in the first half, and this mixed in a couple passing plays, but only for 18 yards, Brad. So we'll see here. Hebron defense played really, really well in that first half.
Andrew Parrish is the quarterback, and Nate Hopkins a running back, and he'll try to sachet. Off left tackle, he's scissored down by Caleb Sauter, a supporting safety, the gain from the 24 of 4 to the 28-yard line.
Really? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Brad.
Up front is, I was going to say, Creighton Barr operates the center. Elliott and Martin are the guards going hurry up. That's a handoff. That's Hopkins, again, this time off right guard, and he'll find a little crease and carry to near a first down. Stopped just shy at the 33 by Sauter. 3rd down, less than 1.
Clearly with a little bit of up-tempo here.
A handoff, a Hopkins carry, a first down, a gain of 4. A Clay Holford tackle. Hebron defensively up front, featuring Jarrett Lee at nose guard. The defensive ends are David Brazel, along with Nathan Grant. Linebackers, we've heard from Holford, Jamison Cooper, Dallas Shagoya. Well, here's the quick pass this way. That's caught at midfield and dropped right there at midfield by Eberhardt, the receiver. First catch of the night for Michael Davis, 4th grab of the year for Davis, earns a Marcus first down right on top of the 50-yard line.
Yeah, you look so much for the run. It's easy with that pitch and catch. Nice throw, nice catch.
Now they'll go hurry up and hand it away to Hopkins, and he'll break into the secondary, and then a swipe ankle tackle will spill Nate Hopkins after a 10-yard gain to the Hebron 40. Angelo Garbett on the tackle of Hopkins. Marcus showing some get up and go right here. And Hopkins, and he'll step outside, then cut against the grain and pick up 3 to the 37. Sauter on the tackle. In fact, they'll hand Mr. Hopkins a gain of 4, 2nd down and 6.
Caleb Sark comes out holding an elbow arm that maybe dinged up a little bit.
In Hebron's territory at the 37-yard line. Go handoff straight ahead. Hopkins looking for somewhere to go. Jamison Cooper is down low, and up high safety Julian Garcia. And not a lot doing, a gain of 3. All of a sudden, Marcus confronted with 3rd down and 4 from Hebron's 33.
Just, you can tell, Brad, the message was Hebron's playing a lot of guys both ways. Let's make them work even harder. Here, big 3rd down here on this drive. 9th play of the drive.
Andrew Parrish out of a shotgun from the 33. That's a running play. That's a 1st down carry, and that's Mack with the carry. Garcia on the tackle of Jared Mack at Hebron's 27.
Hebron trying to work guys in and out because you can see this drive is starting to win him. Julian Lewis looks like he just checked in.
Yeah, Grant checks out, and Julian Harris checks in at right end. And Hebron trying to dig in defensively. Marcus from the Hawk 27. Running play. Ooh. Nothing doing there, and spilled.
There's your safety.
With a big old hit right there is Mack, the running back. And Jared Mack is knocked down with a big hit delivered by Jordan Johnson.
Boy, Hebron got a little bit tired of the running downhill that time, and Mack hit the hole a little slow, and nice job by Jordan Johnson with the hit.
2nd down and 9. Griffin to throw to the far boundary. That's incomplete, and that's a well-timed hit. The intended receiver for Marcus out there is Jake Nelson, and he climbed the ladder and tried to pull it down, and right at the proper moment, the hit from behind from Jelani Heath.
And it was Garbutt who didn't get there, Brad, but jumped and got the arms up, forcing that ball to be high. Even though he's not making plays, he's doing the little things defensively. It's really helping Hebron tonight.
Parrish to the sideline. In at quarterback is Cade Irwin. Irwin out of a shotgun. His team confronted with 3rd down and 9. Irwin to one run wide. Irwin spun around, goes against the grain, and will pick up 5 to the 21-yard line on 3rd down and 9. Holford to tackle. Forced him inside and into the wrap of Dallas Shagoya. Picking up about half of what he needed. 4th down and 4. And Andrew Parrish back to the gridiron at quarterback for Marcus.
Well, no imagination when Cade Irwin's in the game. They're going to run it. Parrish back in, so now you're not sure what they're going to do. 4th down, B.
Parrish wants to throw. Shoots it across the way. Man's open. Catch made. 15. And a 1st down for the Marcus Marauders. On the catch of the good pass triggered by Parrish is Alex Albright.
5th 1st down of this drive, Brad, that started way back at the Hebron 24.
Big conversion on 4th and 4. Here's a Griffin, or rather Cade Irwin, little quarterback keeper, a little hesitation, then he'll break wide to the right side, inside the 5, and the gain of 10. Give him 11 to the 4-yard line. Chased out of bounds by Jelani Heath. 1st down, goal-to-go Marcus from the Hebron 4 from the right hash mark.
Hadn't seen very much of Parrish running the ball tonight, and that time he was able to get outside and took it to the corner, but stepped out on the 4.
1st and goal. Hopkins running play. Hopkins touchdown right side. Put the saddle on the big right side of that offensive line. Malik Martin, the guard at 6'3", 343, and Peyton Keibel, that right tackle at 6'2", 287, and there's Caden Smith, the fine tight end, and they just caved Hebron's defense out of the way. And stepping in from 4 yards away is Nate Hopkins.
That's a big league drive right there, Brad. They just turned up the heat on this Hebron defense, had them back on their heels the whole drive, and in the end zone goes Trey Hopkins.
For Nate Hopkins, a 3rd rushing touchdown. Here's the point after touchdown attempt. It's on the way and booted true by Daniel Blaney. Blaney posts up point number 14 for the Marauders at 5:49 of a 3rd quarter. New count from Hawk Stadium. Hebron 21 and Marcus 14.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Popeyes has it.
Marcus' first possession of the second half, very, very impressive. Brad Denton, 14 carries, 76 yards, 3:50 off to the clock. Trey Hopkins, four-yard touchdown run, caps it off. The extra point by Blaney is good. To 5:49 remain in our third quarter. It's Hebron 21, Marcus 14.
Here's Marauder Daniel Blaney to kick it away. Short approach, high kick. Caleb Sauter from his 25. Up to the 30, up to the 35. Head down in a crowd, buried at the 36 is Caleb Sauter. One of the upbacks on the short Blaney kick. And Trevor Costello is the guy doing most of the business on the kickoff coverage team and making the tackle on Sauter. Well, Hebron off the third quarter kickoff, unable to make any hay offensively. Punted it to Marcus, and the Marauders made Hebron kick it into reverse defensively. And as you mentioned, Peter, 14-play, 76-yard drive.
That's old-time Marcus football right there. Brian Earl would be proud of that drive.
Chapin at quarterback, Trey Pugh at tailback, and Trey Pugh off left tackle. Carries ahead of steam himself, and he'll gain 4 out to the Hawk 40-yard line. Behind that tackle over there on that left side is Big McCarty, Stephen McCarty. Connor Pickett, defensive tackle. Some fresh jerseys out there, including Pickett, who is a backup on the depth chart and playing very well.
He's got to find a way to run some clock here, Brad, and see if they can find a way to get some points. Defense on the field for a long time, and you saw how now the Hebron staff kind of slowing the game down.
They've watched that play clock, and it's just now ticked inside of 20 seconds.
They shouldn't snap that ball until it's inside of 10 seconds just to run some clock.
2nd down and 6. Chapin with an eye set. Toss sweep. Pugh off tackle to the right side. Strung out and buried at the line of scrimmage. Nothing doing for Trey Pugh. And Pugh to the boundary, and in checks Angelo Garbett.
Just a little bit slow, Brad, in happening that time. A good job by the Marcus defense.
Yeah, Irwin
stringing it out a little bit. Irwin and the defensive end on this side. Now the Marcus fans starting to get into it. And big play here for the Marcus defense is just as big for Plano offensively.
It really is. Garbett will work the ball game at tailback. Taking a shotgun snap is the junior quarterback Colton Chapin. Offset to his left is Garbett. Bobbled snap. Chapin to throw. Man open, ball caught. First down, Marcus territory at the Marauder 46-yard line. On the catch is that guy, Derek Mueller, and on the tackle is Matt Hankins, and on the money, Colton Chapin.
It all starts with Chapin because the snap almost hit him in the face mask, and he bobbles and he bobbles and he keeps his head and finds Derek Mueller. Had found the small crease. The ball's on time. Great hand showed by Mueller. It's a huge first down for the Hawks.
It's earned at the 3:50 mark of our third quarter. Hebron's lead, 21-14.
Not a thing of beauty, but it was effective.
In Marcus territory from the 46. Running play, Angelo Garbett, right tackle. He'll pick up 3 to the 43-yard line. Banging hard in there, and Jacob Carmichael featured on the stop.
It's old-time football. 3 yards and a pile of dust, and clean yourself up and do it again. This Hebron offensive line really doing a good job of getting off the ball here, Brad, this drive.
Those are folks like McCarty and Hayden Seeley at the tackles, Farley and Wright the guards, and that man in the middle up there, the 2-year starter Brian Drew. Brayman continues to work as a blocking fullback. It's Garbett at the top of the set from the 43 Marauder territory. Off tackle, right side, Garbett. That's a good tackle right there in the open field by Trevor Costello.
He got a nice block by Brayman. I know you've mentioned that a couple times tonight. The junior, Chris Brayman, really nice blocks so he can get outside. But boy, Trevor Costello came under the pile. Brad got where you got to get Angelo Garbert down low, and he did. A big third down again for Hebron.
Marcus will get after you defensively. 3rd down 4, as a matter of fact. The line of scrimmage, Marauders' 40-yard line. Third quarter clock time just now inside of 2 minutes, 20 seconds. The tailback is Garbett. He'll take a toss. He'll go right side, trip over a offensive lineman who was shoved in the backfield, and he'll go down in the wrap of Trevor Costello with a very short gain, if anything, on the play. 4th and 4, Hebron from the Marcus 40-yard line.
Cade McDare for the first time tonight. It's the first time we've mentioned his name, the Mike linebacker for the Marauders, in on that tackle. And I think Hebron's going to run this clock down and then make a decision, Brad.
Minute 40, play clock now at 30, 29, 28, and they'll try to slow this thing down. Hebron has 11 offensive players on the field as we speak. They're confronted with a 4th down and 4. That play clock ticking down to 15 to 14 seconds. That's what's remaining to be played in the third quarter at Hawk Stadium on homecoming night or on the campus of Hebron High School. Brooke Williams, by the way, Miss Brooke Williams named as the homecoming king. Hebron calls the timeout. Let's do the same. Minute 11, third quarter. Hawks by 7, 21-14 over Marcus.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores. 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting. It's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
That was a very comfortable 14-point halftime lead. Hebron up 21-7. Since then, the screws have been tightened a bit by Marcus. The Marauders, the only points on this third quarter scoreboard, as they marched 76 yards in 14 plays on their only third quarter possession and pulled to within 7. We're sitting there at Hawks 21, Marauders 14. As we speak, and after the timeout, Jake Gennard checks in for Hebron, and he'll punt it away to Cade Irwin. Into the wind. Hebron tried a fake punt last week.
I don't think you're going to see one here, partner.
Turley, the snap back. Here's Gennard to kick it away. That's high and towards the near boundary and out of bounds, way out of bounds. That one slithered off the side of the foot of Gennard, and Marcus will get appreciable field position across the 30 at the Marauder 31-yard line.
Yeah,
and a minute 3 left, third quarter. Hebron's lead 21-14.
Tried to hold the ball, Brad, and then he got rushed and kind of kicked it off the side of his foot. Not sure that's exactly what the coaching staff wanted, but here comes this Marcus offense full of fire.
Yeah, they bounce out onto the field. It is Jared Mack in the backfield. Gets a handoff, steps to the line of scrimmage. Turned around by a big-time blow right there. Bringing the wood for the Hawks is Dallas Shagoya and then Corey Eberhardt.
And Julian's out there again. He does a nice job. Tell you what, he showed up a bunch last week, and Julian Harrison around the football there again. Those pink shoes. Can't miss them.
Cubis and Davis wide right, running play. Hopkins off tackle, breaks a tackle. Look out on his way. There he goes. See you. Good night to Nate Hopkins, who will roll this one in from 69 yards away. And Marcus to within a point of squaring this one up. A second touchdown of the night for Nate Hopkins, and this one's a distant jaunt of 69 yards.
Yeah, he got past the linebackers, Brad, and once he gets out in the open field, there's nobody left for Hebron to catch it. Here's Marcus out, Brad, a little swinging gate.
Well, now they'll make a personnel change of 4 or 5 players, and I'll make you wish that we end up with Blaney kicking it off of a tee. It is Blaney to boot it out of the Cade Irwin hole. Daniel Blaney looking for the equalizer. snap spot. Blaney's on the way and boots it through, and we're square at 21 aside with 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter. New count from Hawk Stadium, all level. Hebron 21, Marcus 21 on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huffines Dodge Dart. Only $269 a month on new Huffines Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huffines Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huffines has it.
Peter, we wondered if Marcus would put another tally on the board in the third quarter. Very impressive long 11-play drive on one possession, and then they make quick work of Hebron on a second possession.
2 plays, 69 yards, only 39 seconds off of our woodshed clock. Trey Perkins goes 69 yards for Marcus. The extra point by Blaney is good. 21-21. 24 seconds remain in our third quarter.
And Marcus full of energy. A lot of bounce to the step of the Marauders as they have come back from a 21-7 halftime deficit. And we're very late with only 25 seconds remaining in this third quarter. And all the momentum, save a big kickoff return from Hebron, will be with the Marcus Marauders as we roll third quarter into quarter number 4.
Hebron 2 possessions here, Brad, in the second half, both resulting in punts.
Blaney, high kick, and it's Mueller from the 25, and Derek Mueller outside and zigs and zags and coming wide to the right side and carries a tackler to the 34-yard line and is rolled down there.
Lost his hat
at the 34 by Hunter Warner. And he'll grab the hat, Derek Mueller. That's a competitor right there, and Mueller. He's had a big ball game tonight.
I'm quite sure he didn't take it off by himself, but no flag.
Running for a touchdown, catching a touchdown pass. Hebron's other touchdown, by the way, on a 13-yard run by Trey Pugh. And tied at 21 with 16 seconds remaining in the third quarter. David Brazel will work at quarterback. Out of his shotgun. Good snap. Brazel going to keep it. Head down. Pull down across his 35 to 38-yard line. A 4-yard run with David Brazel as the final seconds of our third quarter slip away. And we, in fact, are through 3, are we not?
We
aren't.
We are now.
You go. There's the hand football up high. Through 3 on homecoming night at Hawk Stadium. And nothing decided here. This one's certainly in the balance. The Hebron Hawks 21 and the Marcus Marauders 21.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
Change into the field. Hebron, I have the breeze at the backside and work from our right to left, south to north here in front of a very healthy house at Hawk Stadium tonight. And they have been treated to a very competitive football game. Hebron's 21-7 halftime lead has evaporated
quickly
as Marcus outscores the Hawks 14-0 in that third frame. Go to work, fourth quarter. Hebron facing second down and 6. Toss sweep. Garbett gets the carry to the right side. Garbett puts the head down and drives out to the 39. Only a 2-yard gain for Angelo and possession down for Hebron. Hawks confronted with third down 6. That's Jop. Elijah Jop on the tackle. But what has to be a weary Angelo Garbett. Back Garbutt heads to the sideline and is spelled by Trey Pugh at that tailback position for a very important third down, 5.5 for Hebron.
Well, this Marcus defense is just jumping around. They are buoyed up.
Hawks scrimmaging from the Hebron 39. That's a toss. That's a Pugh carry outside. Head down, first down. Flag down in the backfield. This one may be erased with a hold. The preliminary signal from our referee, John Penn, confirms holding Hebron. So what looked like a very nice conversion of third down to first down on the Trey Pugh run will be erased, and Hebron will try to do it again, this time in even more precarious situation.
Not many penalty calls in this game, but that one had to be called. That was an obvious call, and flag came out flying, and that's a huge penalty because Hebron had picked that up, and it's a spot foul, Brad. It goes from 3rd and 8 all the way back to 3rd and 16 now.
Line of scrimmage now, Hebron's 27. Line to gain the 44.
Just hold on to football.
David Brazel at quarterback. Garbutt offset to the right side.
Here's a formation we have not seen all season. 4 wides for Hebron.
Here's Brazel in the pocket. Shoots it over the middle. That is incomplete. Mueller in the vicinity along with Caleb Sauter. And the pass was between the pair and incomplete. Big old Andrew Fitzgerald was bringing the heat to David Brazel and forced him to pull that trigger a little, perhaps quicker than he wanted to.
Had a chance there, but you're right. He had to get it out of maybe a step too soon. Both of the inside guys running post patterns, and it looked like both of them had the step. It just not enough time for David to get the ball out.
Stanton Turley, good snap. Punt in the air and off of the toe of Gennard will not be returned. One hop inbounds and immediately over the near boundary. And here's Marcus going to work. The Marauders red hot take over at the 10:46 mark in our fourth quarter. Ball game tied 21-21. Marcus to football from the Marauder 38-yard line.
Hebron only 1 first down in 3 possessions so far in the second half. So as expected, Brad, this team has come out, this Marcus team has come out fired up in the second half.
Hebron going to have to dig in defensively. Make a stand here. Jarrett Lee digs in at nose guard. Nathan Grant and Julian Harris in at defensive end. Running play inside, and Nate Hopkins, who ripped off a 69-yard touchdown run last possession, is stopped by Jarrett Lee, the nose guard, but not before he picks up 3 out to the 41, second down, 7. Marcus. And again, it's Hopkins along with Parrish. Parrish, the quarterback, hands to Hopkins. Hebron solves it, and Hopkins gains only 2 inside.
It's a good job by the inside of that linebackers. Harris and Colford. Cooper. Just a good job by that bunch. Huge third down here, Bree. Sauter comes out again holding that same arm. He's playing hurt, Brad, but he's battling.
Caden Smith, the tight end, stationed on the right side. Parrish, the quarterback, out of a shotgun. Play action pass. He's hit in the backside by the blitzing linebacker, Corey Eberhardt. And Marcus quarterback, Andrew Parrish, is undressed in his backfield. The loss back to the 36-yard line.
We've been waiting for the outside linebackers to step up, and Corey Eberhardt brings the wood. Boy, I'll tell you what a nice job by the quarterback, Parrish, to hold on the football. He turned around, and there was number 4's face mask in his chest.
Big Keaton Sutherland handles the deep snap to his punter, Daniel Blaney, who will be booting this into a considerable breeze. Hebron deploys Mueller to return. Calling for the football, good snap by Sutherland. That's a high kick, a fair catch called for by Mueller, and a sure-handed one. Gathers that one in just inside his 20th, the Hebron 29-yard line. At 9 minutes, 1 second remaining. Hawk Stadium the site. That's a fourth quarter clock, and that's a board that tells a tale of Hebron 21 and Marcus 21.
Well, you get your defense to get a stop, and got to find a way to do something offensively for Hebron. Brad, they've struggled in the second half. Like I said, only 1 first down, and Let's see what Jamie Clark comes up with.
That offensive line of McCarty and Wright, Drew, Farley, Seeley. Hustle out. Colton Chapin is going to work the series at quarterback. Trey Pugh is operating at tailback. From the 29, 1st and 10 play. Pugh inside. Pugh for 3 across his 30 to the 32.
Just so difficult to run the football on first down when there's 8 or 9 in the box. If Hebron was to do play action on first down, I think it could break open, but they just don't have the confidence in doing something like that at this point.
Jonathan Baudet, big defensive end, leads the charge. Makes the tackle on Trey Pugh after the 3-yard gain. Hebron again trying to slow this thing down, taking some time off the clock. Now with Brayman at fullback and Pugh continuing to work at tailback. Under center, Chapin. Chapin toss sweep. Pugh left side against the grain. Hit at the line of scrimmage and stopped right there. And 3rd down and 7, 4th coming. Carmichael. That's a linebacker with double-digit tackles tonight, and Jacob Carmichael on the stop. And Hebron confronted with 3rd down and 8 Riddle from the 31 in Hawk territory.
Got to find a way to make something happen down the field here, Brad. You can hear across the way all the Marcus fans standing up and cheering. They're behind this defense. It's a big play.
Joe Martin is in the ball game, tight end left side. Chapin on a play action, sets, flushed out of the pocket, hit, flags are down. Chapin sacked back near the 20-yard line, but
Brad,
hang on. A couple of markers are down in the secondary.
Both Hebron wide receivers got tackled. That's going to be a 1st down for Hebron.
Boy, Marcus was really bounding towards the sideline after they registered the apparent sack on 3rd down and 8, but this may be negated.
The back judge and the side judge threw the flags. There it is. Hey, I'm 2 for 2 tonight.
There you go. Me question.
Oh, hold on a second. 2 for 3.
Never will. That's right. You were close on Red Oak, but not just close.
Won't let it go, will you? Oh, what are you doing now?
Let's see now. Get this thing sorted out.
Holding penalty will be an automatic 1st down, won't it, my friend?
There's the mark-off. They'll start it from the 39. It's going to be a 1st down.
Okay.
For Hebron.
It better be.
They'll set it down at the 39, and that should be enough for a Hawk 1st down. Don't tell me they're going to have to measure it.
No, it's an automatic 1st down. It's a holding penalty. It's defensive holding. It's automatic 1st down. Unless they changed the rules in the last 5 minutes. I'm confused.
Well, let's let this thing sort out. I can tell you what, Brian Brazel's out from his sideline, and his counterpart, Jerry Stanford, out from his sideline, and it is 1st down. Pete, they need you. In fact, the mark-off increased out across the 40 to the 42.
I'll tell you who doesn't think they need me down there. That's Jerry Stanford on the other side. This is his first trip over to Hebron High School, and he might smell a little home cooking going on, but I'm still confused why it's not an automatic 1st down, partner. Hebron's second 1st down.
Flip the down marker over. Hebron does get the award of 1st down at the 42 in Hawk territory.
Circle that one.
Tied at 21. Running play. That's a Garbett. Can't get wide right. There's the gang tackling. He's thrown down a loss of half yard. B.J. Copeland with the first hit behind the line of scrimmage.
Good. They're just swarming to the football. If Hebron ran something misdirection, it might work, but they're just keying so hard on whoever the back is, whether it's Pugh or Garbett. They just don't have a chance to get turned upfield.
2nd down, 11. Line of scrimmage in Hebron territory at the 41-yard line. We are approaching the midway mark of our 4th quarter. Tied at 21, Marcus and Hebron. Here's Chapin at quarterback. They'll go running play again. They'll go Garbett again, and Garbett will run into a stack again. And it's going to be 3rd down, and from behind the chains, Hebron will need 12.
Now here's the difference. Mass substitutions by Marcus after every play. They're fresh, Brad. Hebron doesn't have that luxury tonight.
Garbett to the sideline, Trey Pugh on.
Here's one tired football player in Angelo Garbett.
Yeah, he has. He's laid it all out there tonight. And he's got his team dead square with Marcus 21-21, but Hebron now third down and 12 yards to go. Need to get a couple of steps into Marcus territory, play from the 41. Here's Chapin. He's going to scramble, not for long, losing 3 on the play, back to the 38.
Like a fire drill. He can't get his foot set, and Andrew Fitzgerald is back in the backfield. He has no chance to get the ball out. Fitzgerald showing up there on that third down play for Marcus.
Big old Troy Elliott getting a piece of the tackle. He's a guy that's not even on the 2 deep and listed on the roster as an offensive lineman.
Oh, and there's the difference, Brad. Just so many bodies, they're able to rotate in. Hebron playing with blood and guts right now, buddy.
Stanton Turley, the deep snap to his punter, Gennard. Jake Gennard calling for the football. Kate Irwin deployed to return. Bobbled. Here comes the heat. Got the kick away. He's buried. The kick was partially
it touched
tipped.
the football.
And there will be no roughing the kicker. And Marcus will take the
No
Gennard.
way. There is no way.
Take the Gennard punt, which goes out of bounds at the Marauder 41-yard line.
There is no way that ball was tipped. And you know, I'll shut up.
You don't have to, Peter. He was under duress, was Gennard. He kind of bobbled the snap, and that allowed time for the oncoming Marauders. At the even level 5-minute mark, Marcus takes over in a tie ball game at 21 and working and looking for the go-ahead touchdown, perhaps a winning touchdown. And they are some 59 yards away, working from their 41-yard line. They'll go running play. Nate Hopkins for 5 across the 45 and to the 47-yard line. Safety Caleb Sauter on the tackle. Here's Marcus trying to go up tempo. The quarterback, Andrew Parrish, sets his offense down off a quick count. A running play, a Hopkins carry, and Nate Hopkins inches his way on 2nd down and 4 for about 4 and into Hebron territory to the Hawk 49-yard line. And it's close to Jarrett Lee on the tackle and is enough for a first down for Marcus. Watch the clock at the 4:35 mark. Take a snap and hand inside, or rather that's a keeper right there by the quarterback Parrish, and he'll pick up 3 on first down to Hebron's 46.
Jordan Johnson came up and lowered the boom, but it's Johnson that's having a tough time getting up, get off the field. Looks like Partey's going to come in for him.
Yeah, Antoine Partey hustles in to work at safety. Andrew Parrish out of a gun. Running play, Hopkins. Hopkins head of steam and runs for 6 yards and a first down. Clay Holford, the way down tackle at Hebron's 39.
Just found the hole here in the middle of this Hebron defensive line. They're running behind the big, I told you, 285-pound Bar Elliott and Martin, the interior of that offensive line.
Yeah, big old Nyber in a right guard, big 72. Play action pass. This is Parrish scrambling. Parrish buried, losing perhaps a yard on the play. Maybe the fight for Parrish back to the line of scrimmage. That's Cooper, Jamison Cooper, a linebacker, featured on the stop on 1st and 10.
Eberhard did a good job of turning him in as well, Brad. Boy, Corey Eberhard having a nice game for the Hawks. 3:25 on the clock.
2nd down, 10. Running play, Hopkins for 5. Nate Hopkins maybe for a half dozen. Bangs it to Hebron's 33. Julian Garcia, a safety on the tackle. He does get 5.5. It's now 3rd down and a long 4 for Marcus.
Clearly 2-down territory for Marcus.
Oh, there's no question. They'll load up and again go to Hopkins. He'll put a head down and won't need that 4th down. He'll carry for a first down.
Just starting to wear people out, running through people. That is a load in Trey Hopkins. 207 yards, 6'1". Just having a huge second half.
Partey to the sideline. Back onto the field is Jordan Johnson. First down earned at Hebron's 29. They'll go running play again, and Hopkins running over 1-man, 2-man, and he'll roll for 7 to Hebron's 22 for 8 to the 21-yard line. Jamison Cooper is on the stop. 2 minutes, 33 seconds remaining.
Hebron's going to call
and
a timeout.
Hebron will call a timeout. We'll do the same. Ball game tied, 21 for Hebron, 21 for Marcus on Champion Sports Radio.
The teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow @Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter @Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
It's the Hebron Hawks who defensively burn the timeout at the 2:33 mark of our fourth quarter. Marcus driving, ball game tied at 21. The Marauders all the way to the Hebron 21-yard line. And from right there, when we go back to play, it'll be second down and a yard needed. Again, Marcus scrimmaging from Hebron's 21. The workhorse on the drive has been the deuce on the jersey of Nate Hopkins. Hopkins a carry, and he runs into his own player who's in motion, Alex Albright, and he goes down in a heap, and it'll be now third down and 3, perhaps even 4 for Marcus now from Hebron's 23.5.
We were talking in the break. Hebron needs some help. We got some there. Now third down, but clearly 2 down territory, Brad.
Working from the Hawks 24. Feed Hopkins, and Nate Stone short of the first down mark at the 21.5. And he'll need the 19.5, 4th down and 2. That's Cooper, Jamison Cooper, and Clay Holford who collaborate on the stop of Nate Hopkins. So 4th down and a long 2.
Oh, it comes down to one play, buddy. Sort of.
Here's Marcus with that massive offensive line. Again, averaging at 285, and throw in Caden Smith, a big tight end at 245 and a good one. And we'll watch as they break huddle.
Play clock.
Smith goes right side. It's going to be a direct snap to timeout Hebron as they saw Marcus line it up. We'll stay here, stopping the clock at the minute 22nd mark. They were going to be a direct snap there to Hopkins in the backfield.
Yeah, and I think it was Flower Mound that called timeout. Hebron might have had that snuffed out, Brad. And this broadcast is sponsored in part by ShockboxDFW.com. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about Shockbox Impact Alert sensors and determine if it's the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that can result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today for all the information you may want on that subject. And boy, oh boy, this has been a really, really good football game, Brad. And this play will go a long way.
Yeah, well, it was in fact confirmed, Peter. It was Hebron that did burn the timeout, and
they're done.
They are done, and defensive coordinator Eric Mock, head coach Brian Brazel, all like they're exhorting the defensive 11.
And it forced Marcus to change the play.
Now Parrish at quarterback. Parrish wants to throw. Parrish to the sideline. And that's incomplete. And Hebron is forced to turnover on downs as Parrish attempted to find the big tight end, Caden Smith. And it was broken up very late by Jelani Heath on the cover. And Hebron forces the turnover on downs.
But it all starts with the push from the outside from Garbett. He comes around the corner, and Parrish has to feel him. The throw maybe a step too soon, and Hebron celebrates. Still a minute 16. Got to take care of the football here, Brad. Hate to be the naysayer, but don't do something silly.
Well, it looked like Marcus was certainly confident that they were driving for certain game-winning points.
Hey, don't forget about the play when they ran into each other. That was huge.
Run out of downs. Hebron takes over from the 22. Here's a little toss. Here's a Trey Pugh carry to the right side against the grain. The gain of 5 to the 26.
Hebron, no timeouts.
Minute 7, minute 6 remaining. Angelo Garbett hustles in. Pugh after the carry of 5 to the 27 to the boundary. Inside of a minute, seconds now slipping away as we are under the 50-second mark. Hebron taking their time.
This is where the lack of a passing game really hurt you.
Here's Chapin under center, running play. That's Garbett into the secondary across the 30, and then a good open field tackle.
Clock stops for the first down.
Registered right there by Trevor Costello.
He makes Costello move.
Yeah.
And
he may have left Marcus.
You may be jumping up and down over there.
Singing the bye-bye blues.
Clock running
Pretty
again.
Close. Inside of 30 seconds.
I flip it to him again. He can make anything happen.
Garbett at tailback. Out of an eye set from the 32. Toss to Garbett right side.
Get out of bounds, Angelo.
Make a man move, make a move, cut inside to the 40, a gain of 8.
That's it, B.
And with that, we will conclude regulation.
Oh, they may try to spike it real quick. 6, 5, and the ref, come on. They got it stopped.
They did get it stopped with just under a second remaining on the spike. You are something else.
The umpire, don't they have somebody in the middle of the field to spot the ball?
He was waddling over there, wasn't he?
Sorry.
Less than a second away from Hebron's first overtime game in a while. And they will say we have achieved overtime.
Huh?
We are finished with regulation and nothing decided.
How do you know that?
Well, they held that ball high overhead.
Let's go to break.
We do go to break through 4 quarters. Hebron 21, Marcus 21. Overtime up next on Champion Sports Radio.
The end is here. To get Huff Hines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Hines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on new Huff Hines Jeep Liberties. Only $269 a month on new Huff Hines Chrysler 200s. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Jeep Grand Cherokees or Dodge Durangos. At both locations of Huff Hines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Hines has it.
Well, let's recap.
It's been fun.
21-7 at half. Hebron leading. Flower Mound scores 2 touchdowns. The last one a long one by Trey Hopkins. Flower Mound gets the ball back. Brad, don't jump. 5 minutes left in the game.
Chewing up yardage.
The 12th play of the drive. They lose. They go out on downs. A fine play by Jelani Heath on a pass over to Caden Smith, and Hebron gets the ball back with 1:16, and not quite sure what happened to the last couple seconds of that drive. But here we are, 21-21.
About to go to an overtime ball game.
Coach is out in the middle of the field wondering the same thing. Poor John Pence not having the best night. But here we go. And Brad,
flip of a coin.
It looks like Hebron won the toss because Coach John's talking to Coach Brazel. So Hebron probably going defense first, right?
That would be the choice most would make. And I'm sure Brian Brazel would make that choice if he won the doggone toss. Let's see.
And I ask again, where is Trent Lynch when you need him?
Yeah, exactly. Trent's going to be disappointed he bailed on such a competitive game. The ball will go to either team at the 25-yard line with a fresh set of downs. And we're into this thing almost 20 years. 1996 was the first year that Texas high school employed the college overtime rules, if you will, and got rid of the old penetrations as the tiebreaker.
Thank goodness.
So we are 18th season into it. And
I can't remember the last overtime game we've had.
I think, you remember Hebron losing an overtimer 3-4 years ago at Coppell.
Well, Brad, I may be wrong. It looks like
Hebron's
going to
go offense.
Or they went offense. So here we go.
Going to go offense with the wind to the backside. Don't know that they chose that. Don't think they won the toss.
I don't think they.
I think Brian was pointing when they said, "Which way do you want to go?" And he said, "With the wind backside." So here comes the Hawks with the first possession of the overtime. Ball game tied at 21. Angelo Garbett works at tailback from between the hash marks. Toss sweep right. Garbett head down, buried. No gain on the play. That's on first down. Carmichael, one more time, Jacob Carmichael, weak side linebacker, and he is a fine football player. He thinks so. I give him some credit, too.
He wants to make sure everybody sees it. But no, that's a good play. Hey, if you're going to do it, you can back it up. I guess it's okay, right?
That's what Diz said. He ain't bragging if you can do it.
That's right. Play clock down to 10. Hebron hadn't lined up yet.
Joe Martin had one tight end, Nathan Grant the other. Double tight set. Chapin wants to throw and shoots to the post.
Oh, what a catch!
That's it. 3 flags are down. Derek Mueller doesn't come up with the catch, but a guilty marauder of pass interference inside the 10 at the 9-yard line.
Oh, he went right through him, Brad. That's a great call. That was Hankins, the young sophomore cornerback. He'll learn you can't go through the receiver. There's not a flag. The only one that didn't throw a flag on that one's John Penn. All 4 other officials flag out of their pocket.
So Hebron will get the fresh set of downs after the pass interference call is marked off for 5, 10, for 15 yards against Marcus to the Marauder 10-yard line.
And that's kind of a tough break because now the ball's placed on the 10. No more first down opportunity for Hebron.
First and goal from the 10-yard line. Working from the hash mark, far side, sidelines right, open field left side. Garbett in the backfield. Garbett takes a hand, sachets at right tackle.
Oh, John, that's not.
And a flag thrown.
No. He's going to say that Chapin picked the ball up when he was on his knee, and they're stopping the play.
Oh, my goodness. So a loss on the play, back 5 yards to the 15.
I'm not so sure about that one, my friend.
Chapin, as he took the snap, evidently had to go down.
Oh, the snap was low, but
then he was on a knee. John Penn, our referee, made the call in the offensive backfield.
Sharp as a tack.
First down, goal from the 15. Now Chapin works under center. Toss sweep right side. That's Garbett trying to go against the grain. Put a head down, turned around after gaining the 11, maybe the 10-yard line. They'll give him 4 to the 11, and that was on second down and goal from the 15. Now third down goal, Hebron from the Marcus 11-yard line.
Such a tough call.
Yeah, it really was. Really was. And Hebron now confronted again, third down goal from the 11.
Oh, Brad, you got to take care of the football here. Worst case, you don't get the touchdown. You got to give a chance for at least the field goal. You got to do something here.
Dawson, Slater, and Mueller are the wide trio. Chapin to throw out of the backfield. That is caught, breaking a tackle at the 10. Hit down and driving inside the 5 is Angelo Garbett, banged out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Now what do you do?
Banged out of bounds at the 2-yard line, wheeling out of the backfield, and over the shoulder, one-handed catch by Garbett to reel it in.
You got it, 4th and goal from the 2. I think you have to put points up. Brian Brazel don't think so.
I think Hebron's going to go for it from the 2-yard line on 4th down and goal. On this, the first possession of the overtime.
You get a timeout, I believe. You might want to use it here.
Brian Brazel thinking about it, and now we'll burn that timeout at the first overtime. Well, we'll do the same. 21-21. We're in overtime. We're at Hawk Stadium homecoming.
In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting and marketing company. In Command Broadcasting provides a wide array of turnkey video production and streaming services. In Command services include filming of sporting events, season highlights, school graduations, corporate infomercials, and documentaries. In Command streams your sporting event or company function over the internet live or on demand. Call 972-851-7888 to raise the energy of your next event. In Command Broadcasting, 972-851-7888.
21-21, we are in overtime. Hebron's first offensive possession. 4th down, the ball is placed between the 1 and the 2-yard line, and I'm changed my mind. Hebron does have to go for it. You got to try to get a touchdown here, Pete.
No, we did talk about it during the break, and you almost have to. You think a field goal will only give you a little boost up. You need to get a 6 spot on the board, boot the point after touchdown, and force Marcus to score. Now you got a horse in Angelo Garbett to feed, but Marcus defensively have really been on a second-half frenzy. Here's Hebron breaking the huddle.
Do you go misdirection and fake the pitch and go, let Colton go the other way? Look at this formation. Spreading it out.
From the 2-yard line, Garbett at tailback under center. Chapin, snap, toss, Garbett. Right to left side, hit it to 1, spinning, driving, stopped short of the goal line, and I mean just a gnat's whisker short, is Angelo Garbett. Garbett's slow to get up, but I think that's just it's a doggone disappointed. He was oh so close, but he was stopped shy.
This game's not over.
No.
I mean, everybody's running around here like the game's over. Hebron's defense gets a chance to step up and play now.
But a third time in this season, we remember Hebron going for it on 4th down
close.
And goal from the 1 or the 2-yard line, have yet to convert. Twice in the first half at Coppell in the opener, and then here in overtime in game number 4.
So close.
Here's Marcus with Andrew Parrish at quarterback from the 25, first down. Feed Hopkins. Hopkins with the head down, drives for 4, tackled by Slater. They'll give him 5 to the 20-yard line. It's a big offensive line. Keaton Sutherland is the biggest toad in the puddle, 6'5" at 287 at left tackle. They'll give to Hopkins again, this time for 3 to the 17. 3rd down, 2, confronting Marcus.
As fast as they possibly can run the ball, they are. They know
Just
how
hurry
tired
up
Hebron
offense,
is.
hurry up offense, up tempo, and now they're set and ready to go at the line of scrimmage on 3rd down and 3. Working from the Hawk 18-yard line. Under center is Parrish. Hand to Hopkins, outside right side, on his feet to the 10, and Nate Hopkins drives to the 9-yard line. He's weighed down by Clay Holford, in the process earning the Marauders a first down and goal from the Hebron 9-yard line. In the first overtime, and Hebron unable to score, Marcus trying to punch it in for the game winner. Hopkins takes the handoff, goes behind the right side of his offensive line. He's tackled by Jamison Cooper, but not before he carries from the 9 down to the 6-yard line. From there, 2nd down and goal, Marcus.
That's a tired Hebron defensive unit, Brad, and Hopkins just leaning on him.
From the 6, 2nd and goal. Feed it to Hopkins. Right side to the 4, spinning to the 3-yard line is Nate Hopkins. Cooper and Holford featured on the stop.
Those guys have had to make double digits tackles.
Yes,
tonight.
sir.
What an effort.
3rd down goal from the 3. Snap, Hopkins, a carry. Hopkins to the 2 and pulls back. Ball's loose. And let's see. Hebron says they have it.
They do.
Hebron does have the football. We will go to a 2nd overtime. Nate Hopkins, giving it 2nd and 3rd effort, finally lays the egg, and he's still going to stand out there and fuss about it.
Well, I hate to say this, but the only one in the building that didn't think it was a fumble was John Penn. He had to get talked out of it. Because look at Coach Jerry Stanford's on the field. He don't get it. It was a fumble. You heard me yell. And look, that's a touch of class there by Jerry Stanford. Put his arm around David Brazel and said, "This is fun." They flip again? Oh, no, Hebron's on defense again.
Yeah, Hebron's on defense again. They flipped the order in the 2nd overtime, and that is a fatigued Hebron defensive unit.
Did they get a timeout? I need a timeout. Fumble. This is going to be some recap. You got all this?
No. Help me out.
I got it. I think.
Well, they're going to meet again, the head coaches, Jerry Stanford and Brian Brazel, and they will forever remember this first ever meeting between the two.
Well, we didn't get a headset throw, but we got our hat throw.
Yes, the Jerry Stanford hat throw just took place. And I don't know if that was just frustration because I'm not sure he knows what he's fussing about.
He probably thinks they should have won this football game twice. Why is the clock running?
I have no idea.
They've had a tough night too down there.
I've been distracted by that throughout the overtime.
This is,
and here we are, just almost giddy.
Hey, hindsight, maybe we should have kicked the field goal, then we would have won.
Hey, if you're listening in Minden, Nebraska, stay with us.
Hello. And Arkansas.
Yes.
And wherever Trent is, you might want to text them. Weston Lynch here. Brad, take a seat.
You're listening to Hebron Hawk Football, presented by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, and sending all this as a presentation of Champion Sports Radio.
Well, you know what? We're having fun.
Well, here from the 25-second overtime underway.
New back.
With a handoff and a fresh back, and he's going to be clobbered. Is this Respis? Yeah, C.J. Respis, the junior, who's had considerable carries, 36 for 218 yards.
Well, you got to think Nate Hopkins is exhausted. I am.
This is Respis. It's second down, same 10. Marcus from the 25. Oh, a bobbled snap. That's Parrish. Buried back in the backfield at the 28-yard line. That's a loss of 3. Julian Harris able to run down the Marauder quarterback after he bobbled the snap. Perhaps looking one way, that a very catchable snap at shoulder high.
The reason Nate Hopkins out of the football game, he's rushed the ball 35 times tonight.
Here's Parrish and company, or is this Cade Irwin? Nope, this is Parrish in the passing pocket. Shooting it to the post. That's caught at the 21. Caden Smith on the catch, and he stopped right there at the 21-yard line. Now a flag has been thrown. It's resting near Hebron's sideline at the Hawk 28.
Hebron offsides.
That's a nice delivery by Parrish. Not enough for the first down, but now a manageable third down and 5. Or is it fourth down and 5?
It's fourth down.
Yeah, fourth down and 5. From Hebron's 20-yard line in overtime. Now John Penn conversing across the way.
Well, you can't talk about
with Jerry Stanford, the head coach of Marcus.
Brad, where's the down marker?
Well, it's up here at the 34.
Why?
Now they're going to head down there to the 20-yard line. Flip it over to number 4, and let's play.
I was confused.
C.J. Respis continues to work in the backfield.
Big play.
It is a big play. Caden Smith.
And the clock's still running.
One of 3 receivers left. Parrish in the pocket, looking left. Now throwing in deep in the end zone. That's intercepted in the end zone. And bringing it out of the end zone and dancing with it. And hold on there.
The play's over.
Colton Chapin. And Hebron will get their chance after stymieing the Marcus offense. Big pressure on quarterback Parrish from Angelo Garbett.
Hey, Colton, nice play. Now go play quarterback. That's what it's come down to. But outstanding. You know what, Brad? Win or lose. What a gutty effort by this Hebron team. Unbelievable effort. You got kids going both ways. This is awesome. And this is what Brian Brazel expected tonight. Holy cow. Where else would you want to be on a Friday night?
It is fun. And don't forget the Hebron kicker, Kyler Terry, has a big leg and a breeze at the backside.
Here we go.
Trey Pugh gallops onto the gridiron, and he'll line up behind Colton, his quarterback. It's Pugh at running back. Colton going to work out of a shotgun from the 25. Here's the snap. That's bobbled. That's picked up by Colton. He's thrown down almost immediately by Andrew Fitzgerald. And the loss of 7 back to the 32-yard line. The unforced errors are mounting here in the late go.
1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah, 7 steps back. It's 2nd and 17.
Lord help us. The kid's got a big leg. We got to get a little closer than this.
Yeah, we got to get a little closer than this. This would be a 50-yarder to win it. Brayman hustles on now to work the snap at fullback, and Joe Martin to the sideline. The
Play
tight
clock
end
down to 5. Snap the ball.
Here's Chapin. Toss sweep. Pugh. Right side. Pugh into a crowd at the 30 and drives and gains maybe 6 to the 28-yard line.
Now what do? You got to try to get it closer, but if you get sacked, then you're out. That's why they pay the coaches the money they do. Jamie Card's up to you. You make the call.
Mueller has certainly been the favorite receiver, and he'll be stationed wide to the right.
Garbutt's over here on the bench. He's exhausted.
Wide left is Slater. It's 3rd down 13. It's a running play straight ahead. That's Trey Pugh. Pugh to the 20. Pugh spun down near the 20-yard line. That's a nice gain of 8. Shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down and 6 for Hebron. But that will bring on Kyler Terry with a chance at a field goal.
I just pulled a muscle.
And Kyler Terry will set the tee down inside of his 30 at his 28-yard line for a 38-yard attempt from the near hash mark.
This young man's got plenty of leg from here, B.
Call it 37 yards. Derek Mueller to hold. Angle again from left to right.
Timeout, keep it here.
Marcus will call the timeout and try to freeze Hebron's number 23 in Kyler Terry. And Kyler's not the kind of scare real easy at 6'6", 225.
And I believe Cole, I don't have it in front of me, 1 field goal on the season. And when we watch this young man, Brad, the ball makes a different sound when it comes off his foot. Now, never been in this situation before, so I don't blame Jerry Stanford for putting him on the clock, so to speak. So
the Terry field goal was the Coppell game.
Okay.
In the opener.
Thank you, Brad. I knew you would know that. Knew that?
Okay. Getting late early.
Yes.
It's getting late this hour.
This
let's see what Terry can do. Maybe put a period at the end of this sentence and write a successful story in this chapter 9 of this Hawk Marauder rivalry. Mueller will hold. And it is Turley to make the snap. Stanton Turley from the 27, a 37-yard attempt. Snap, high.
Blocked.
Kick blocked. Straight up into the air.
Can he return it?
And I don't think he can, but he won't. He'll be spilled down. Marcus bounding for joy, and we will go to yet another overtime. How about a third? Perhaps a charm.
Do the rules change
it was
on
a
the
high
third?
snap.
High snap. What a nice job by Mueller to even give it a chance. And he got a good leg on it, but the timing was so messed up that they were able to get penetration.
Do it one more time. This is certainly a record Hebron-wise for number of overtimes.
I guess.
I think they've had a couple of double overtimers in the past.
Now Hebron goes back on offense.
Well, and Pete,
half the field.
I'm going to give credit where it's due, and that's Weston Lynch.
4
overtimes, and you and I were both there.
We were?
Yeah, it was cold, and it was at Birdville, and it was against DeSoto.
One of the best high school football games I've ever been a part of.
Maybe we get to 4 tonight and tie that almost unheard of record of 4 overtimes. But, yeah, Hebron defeating DeSoto in the second round of the 2007 playoffs in 4 overtimes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Hebron's on offense now?
I believe that would be the situation. They would be batting in the top of the third rather than the bottom.
It's become a shootout.
It's kind of how I think
American
of it.
Airlines Arena.
Hebron trailed early. Marcus, on their initial possession of the ball game, marched handsomely down the field and took a 7-0 lead on a Cade Irwin 2-yard run. That was a long time ago. Hebron answered with 21 unanswered and took the 21-7 lead to the halftime. Marcus posted 2 markers in quarter number 3 that tied this ball game at 21. We still there as we move play to the third overtime. Hebron, the initial possession of overtime number 3. Trey Pugh into the ball game at a tailback. Out of a shotgun. Colton to throw. Fires complete. Mueller catch at the 20. Derrick scrambling down the sideline to the 18. And knocked out of bounds right there by Hupner. Cameron Hupfer on the coverage and on the shuck out of bounds of Derrick Mueller. Mueller's had a heck of a game. 4 catches now. And this one good for 7 yards.
That's a good gain on first down, Brad. That's what you need to do. And if you can do that every once in a while, it's going to loosen up those linebackers to respect that passing gain a little bit. And you just never know.
Nathan Grant spells Joe Martin at tight end. He'll be stationed right side. From the right hash, here's the Hawks. From the 18. Give it to Pugh. Trey strung out, spilled at the line of scrimmage, and then turned around right there, maybe losing one in the process.
I tell you what, this Marcus defense, any time you go misdirection, they are coached so well. It's not working. Here comes Garbett dragging himself back on the football field for Hebron.
Travis Perry, hard-hitting, strong safety, featured on the latest stop, a loss of 1 for Trey Pugh. And again, Grant and Martin changed positions. Martin back to the playing surface, Grant to the sideline. 3rd down 5, Hebron from just inside the 20.
Open.
Colton to throw. Man open, sheds a tackle, bounces down the field, and then he's racked out of bounds.
Cade Irwin.
Big tackle on the receiver. Hebron's Jalen Slater, his first catch of the year, I believe.
He spun free there, Brad, for a second. And
then here came Irwin.
And Irwin said, not so fast, my friend. 4th and 1. And hold on. There comes the field goal.
Yeah, here comes Terry again. Kyler Terry. This time from the 24-yard line. It'll be a 34-yard attempt. Again, the angle from the near hash mark from left to right. Need a good snap right here.
Calling timeout.
And Coach Brazel and them will call timeout. We'll stay right here. And that is a load put on the recent call-up from the junior varsity, Stanton Turley. Done a pretty good job in handling the deep snaps and the placement snaps. That last field goal attempt from 37 yards from Terry, which was blocked. Stanton's pass back from center, a little high for the holder in Mueller.
Well, it seems like it was an hour ago, but let's recap the overtime possession. Hebron gets the ball first, gets stopped on the 1-foot line. Marcus drives down the field to about the 1-foot line, and Hopkins fumbles. Hebron's Marcus' second possession, interception in the end zone by Chapin. Hebron's second possession, field goal blocked. Third field goal. Here's Hebron's third possession. Young Terry on the field. See what he can do.
A 34-yard attempt after the timeout. Here's Kyler Terry. Snap spot. Terry on the way. That one's blocked, and it comes right into the hands of the holder, Mueller. He'll gather it in, draw a crowd, and get buried at the 30-yard line. The possession goes to Marcus. Marauders go to work, first down and 10 at the 25 in their bottom half of the third overtime, and a chance to post points and win this football game.
The pressure came right up the middle. I'm not sure. It looked like the snap was better that time. I'm not sure if the kick was low or not, but it was rejected.
Yeah, big time. Return to sender. So 2 blocked field goals in the overtime for Marcus. And here's the Marauders. And Hebron trying to bounce around and play some defense. Julian Harris showing some energy. Corey Eberhard exhorting the crowd on and saying, hey, don't start writing any autopsies quite yet. Nate Hopkins has returned with his 30 carries on the night. 35 carries, and he'll get some more here. From the 25. The quarterback is Parrish. Play action. Parrish is bagged in the backfield by Corey Eberhard. One more time, the sack registered the loss of 6.
The coming out party for Corey Eberhard tonight, his second sack of the evening. What a nice job by that young man, really stepping up.
Was able to use the speed off the edge to get by the blue chipper, Corey Sutherland. Here's Parrish. Running play, Hopkins for 5. And Nate Hopkins stretches and strains down to his 26-yard line, the 5-yard gain. Caleb Sauter, the biggest piece of a gang tackle.
Playing on Blutson, just his guts.
Both teams.
Both teams. You're right. At this point, it's both teams. This Hebron bunch, Garbett out there just dragging himself around on that outside linebacker.
3rd down, position. 10. Hand to Hopkins. Inside, bouncing outside.
Tackle.
Good open field tackle at the 20 by Caleb Sauter, playing inside out.
That's a first down saving tackle.
Now 4th down and 5 for Marcus.
What does Jerry Stanford do? Does he go field goal?
He does bring out field goal. It would be a game winner, and I'll make you a wish. We're going to see Daniel Blaney.
Now, you remember the first one he kicked. It would have it almost hit the schoolhouse, Brad. But
remember that was Depew.
Yeah, this
is Blaney, Daniel Blaney, 37. From the 27, a 37-yard attempt. Marcus, hurry up, spot down. Blaney's on the way. That's got to hurry, and he's good. It just does eke over the crossbar, and Marcus, in 3 overtimes, will win this by a final count of 24-21 on a Daniel Blaney 37-yard field goal, again in the 3rd overtime. Disappointment for Hebron. Jubilation for Marcus. The Marauders take their record to 3-1, and Hebron falls to 0-4. But what a game battle between 2 pretty decent high school football teams. Marcus wins it in 3 overtimes off of a field goal from Daniel Blaney that really had to hurry to get there, and it just does get there, but good from 37 yards away. Hebron bounces up and heads to the midfield stripe, and these teams will exchange handshakes, and Chapter 9 goes into the books as a Marcus win in 3 overtimes, and with the victory, Marcus takes the lead in the series by a count of 6-3. We'll come back and recap at homecoming at Hawk Stadium after this timeout. Your final in 3 overtimes, Marcus 24 and Hebron 21.
To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year in Sales event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShopboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com. This broadcast is under the direction and is copywritten by Champion Sports Radio. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or use of the audio stream, and any and all other use of the accounts of this broadcast without the direct written consent and permission of Champion Sports Radio is strictly prohibited. All rights are reserved by Champion Sports Radio and ChampionSportsRadio.com. This is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcasts.
The end is here. To get Huffines' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huffines' Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Take your choice and pay just $269 a month on new Chrysler Town & Countries or Dodge Grand Caravans. Or take your choice and pay just $329 a month on new Chrysler 300s or Dodge Chargers at both locations of Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Point of Origin Design is your one-stop shop for all your apparel, promotional, event, or team uniform needs. Point of Origin Design is a full-service design and logo creation company that offers a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products. With competitive pricing and quality work, you can't go wrong with Point of Origin Design. It's always best to start at the right point, so visit them online at pointoforigindesign.com. Let them help you plan your next promotional item or design your next t-shirt. That's online at pointoforigindesign.com.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that nearly 4 million brain injuries occur every year due to sports in the U.S. They also estimate that 70% of concussions go unreported. Not identifying concussions early can be devastating, especially if the athlete continues to play with symptoms. Catching hard hits fast is critical, and that's why you need the Shockbox Helmet Impact Sensor. The Shockbox is a small sensor that easily attaches to most football, lacrosse, and hockey helmets and instantly sends a signal to a smartphone on the sidelines when the player has taken a hard hit that puts them at higher risk for injury. The free app receives data from the sensor, displays information about the impact, and even walks the user through a concussion assessment. The app also logs symptom and impact data for future medical use. Visit ShockboxDFW.com to learn more about the Shockbox Impact Alert Sensor and determine if it is the right option for your child. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit ShockboxDFW.com today. ShockboxDFW.com.
There's a time and a place for everything.
As you'll see, projections for the next quarter are...
He shoots, he scores! 2 points for team middle management.
The office is not one of them.
Jack, can I see you in my office?
No pouting, it's your ball. Let's see what you got.
But Whirly Ball is. For corporate events, team building, and private parties, Whirly Ball in Hearst and Plano is electric fun. Test your skills on the arcade games. Zip around in your Whirly Bug for a Whirly Ball competition. Or play the most affordable laser tag in the city. Learn more at whirlyball.info.
Writer Gerald Early said that when they study our civilization 2,000 years from now, there will only be 3 things that Americans will be known for: the Constitution, baseball, and jazz music. GDYO's Jazz Institute provides young musicians in North Texas the opportunity to learn what it means to be a jazz musician through weekly technique classes and combo rehearsals with professional jazz musicians. From the first note to the final round of applause, GDYO Jazz Institute concerts will amaze and delight both hardcore jazz cats and new fans alike. Learn more about the truly original American art form through the GDYO Jazz Institute online at gdyo.org/jazz.
Many heart conditions can be fixed, but many of us don't know we have a problem until it's too late. On April 2, 2009, Zachary Schraw, a 16-year-old sophomore offensive lineman, died of sudden cardiac arrest, the number 1 cause of death among student athletes. Like so many SCA victims, Zach had no heart issues, nor did anyone in his family. If Zach had an echocardiogram, he might have been able to avoid suffering a condition that takes 10,000 of our youth each year. In his memory, Living for Zachary was formed to try and prevent SCA from taking the lives of youth everywhere. Join in the fight today and stop the silent killer of SCA by scheduling your young athlete for an echocardiogram, a procedure that can detect any heart issue with 99% accuracy. For more information, visit www.livingforzachary.org. That's living4zachary.org, and let your heart be heard.
Well, Brad Denton, one of those football games that you just hate to see a team have to lose. And Hebron goes down 24-21 in a game that so many different storylines and plots, and it's just tough to see the Hawks fall down. come up 3 points short, but it's, man, not lack of effort.
Oh,
Holy
hats
cow.
off to.
What an effort by a bunch of the young kids that just went both ways all night. And the scoring summary brought to you by Brad Dent.
Well, here's how we get there, Peter. Off the opening kickoff, Hebron can't do much and has to punt it away to Marcus, and Marcus looks really sharp on their initial possession of the ball game. They march 11 plays and cover 56 yards, and about 4.5 minutes in the 7.5-minute mark of quarter number one, a 2-yard run by quarterback Cade Irwin scratches the ice here, cracks the ice, if you will, and Marcus is up 6-0, make it 7-0 on the Kent Depew point after touchdown. Hebron answers, and immediately off the ensuing kickoff, a nice return sets up the Hawks, and they mount a 5-play, 65-yard drive, do it in less than 2 minutes. The touchdown run from Trey Pugh from 13 yards away. Kyler Terry's point after touchdown ties the ball game 7-7. 5.5 minutes remaining, first quarter. We stay 7-7 and roll quarter number one into quarter number two, which was all Hebron. The Hawks take a lead at the 5.5-minute mark of quarter number two, culminating an 80-yard, 7-play drive with a 33-yard fumble recovery and carry for a touchdown by wide receiver Derek Mueller. Mueller was Johnny on the spot, an inside carry in traffic by Angelo Garbett. He was hit hard and fumbled the football, and it tumbled out of the pile, and there's Mueller, as I mentioned, with kind of a looky what I found, loose ball on the ground, scooped it up at the Marauder 33-yard line and headed downfield and got the touchdown, and it put Hebron ahead for the first time tonight at 14-7 after Kyler Terry's point after touchdown. 14-7 Hawks, 5.5 remaining until the half. Hebron extends that lead very late in the second quarter. They get the football, march 63 yards, cover that in 6 plays, and with only 16 seconds remaining until halftime, confronted with a third down goal from the Marcus 6-yard line, it looked like running back Trey Pugh was going to take a little pitch and try to work the edge left side and maybe dig to the pylon, but he pulls up and fires a bullet strike, the left-hander, completing the touchdown pass to Derek Mueller from 6 yards out. Kyler Terry point after boots Hebron to the 21-7 halftime lead. Man, all was grand in Hawkland, and we had a homecoming queen crowd and Miss Brooke Williams, and go to play with Hebron taking the third quarter kickoff, and the Hawks can't do much with it. Punt it away to the Marcus Marauders. They do something with it. How about mounting a 14-play, 76-yard drive, pulled to within 21-14 on a 4-yard Nate Hopkins touchdown run. It comes at 5:49 of that third quarter. Daniel Blaney, we'll hear more from Blaney later, kicks the point after touchdown. All of a sudden, got a ball game on our hands. Hebron lead is trimmed to 21-14. Later in that third frame, in fact, with only 25 seconds remaining third quarter, well, it was Mr. Hopkins again. Nate Hopkins, this time a distance run, a 2-play, 69-yard touchdown drive, and the 69 yards all on the Hopkins run with 25 seconds remaining third quarter. Nate Hopkins, 69-yard TD run. Daniel Blaney, point after. At the end of the third quarter, ball game is tied at 21-21. A fourth quarter is played, Pete, not without a lot of drama, just without any points. The ball clubs hang up a couple of bagels in that fourth frame, and we go to overtime, and it was not one, not two, but in the end, 3 overtimes before we named a winner.
Well, let's recap the overtimes. Hebron received the ball first, took over 6 plays, 4th and 2.
Oh, so close.
From the 4th and goal from the 2, and Angelo Garbett makes the dive for the end zone, and he stopped a foot short. Well, on comes the Marcus Marauders.
Bottom of the
first inning. They drive down. Hopkins looks like he's going in for a score. Drops the ball. Hebron recovers. We go to the top of the second. Marcus gets the ball, and on the fourth play of that drive, quarterback Parrish throws the ball into the end zone. That's intercepted by Colton Chapin. Bottom of the second we go. Hebron gets the ball. 3 plays. Can't do very much. Here comes Kyler Terry in. High snap. What a great job by a guy that had an outstanding football game in Derek Mueller. But the timing's all messed up. Field goal blocked. Go to the top of the third, or the third possession in overtime, if you will. Hebron 3 more plays. Just nothing left offensively. Just wore out from kiddos just playing their heart out, Brad Denton. And here comes Kyler Terry again, 34-yard field goal.
That was just stuffed.
Just rejected. It looked like the Kembe Mutombo out there, and just right back in him. And Marcus gets the ball, third down, third possession. Hebron's defense just playing on pure guts.
On fumes. Yeah.
Fumes, pure guts. 3 plays. They don't get anything, hardly, Brad. 37-yard field goal by Daniel Blaney, and it was good by 30. It might have went 37 yards and 1
and
foot.
A breath, yeah.
But it did go over, and just heartbreaking. And, you know, not very often do you see a result like this after. I mean, look around, Brett, down on the field, and this is a normal sight, but there's just Hebron kids just, they don't want to be near anybody, and it's just a tough loss. And well, let's do this. Let's go to our first break, and we come back. We'll look at numbers. We'll talk about this one a little bit more. Weston's down on the field with Brian Brazel. We'll hear from him.
Takes 3 overtimes to do it, but Marcus does win it in the third overtime by a final count of 24-21. Tonight's post-game programming is being brought to you by In Command Broadcasting. In Command Broadcasting, a sports TV broadcasting marketing company, online at incommandbroadcasting.com.
The end is here. To get Huff Heinz' lowest prices of the year during the final days of Huff Heinz Model Year-End Sales Event at both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Pay just $259 a month on the all-new 2013 Huff Heinz Dodge Starts. Only $269 a month on new Huff Heinz Ram Quad Cabs. Or only $279 a month on new Huff Heinz Ram Crew Cabs. At both locations of Huff Heinz Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Plano and Louisville.
Huff Heinz has it.
Stay up on all the latest news about the teams you care about and know when your favorite games are on the air thanks to Champion Sports Radio social media. Either follow at Champion Sports on Twitter or like our Facebook page at facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and you will know what time your game starts, who was named Player of the Week, or what your school's alumni are doing in college. That's on Twitter at Champion Sports and facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio. Your home for championship social media.
Do you need a boost in exposure? Want to reach local, community-minded folks with information about your business? Join the Champion Sports Radio team and advertise during these games. In the last 4 years, Champion Sports Radio has broadcast over 600 games for more than 3.5 million listeners. And Champion Sports Radio wants to help you use major high school sports to reach thousands of local fans right in your community. It's also a way for your business to give back to the community by helping all these well-deserving student-athletes get some recognition for their accomplishments. The cost simply can't be beat for the effect it will have. You get a lot of bang for your buck, and best of all, it provides an opportunity for the best advertisement of all, word of mouth. To secure your prime commercial spot during the broadcast, contact Thomas Lee at Champion Sports Radio by phone at 972-741-0334. That's 972-741-0334, or online at championsportsradio.com. Champion Sports Radio, your home for championship broadcast.
Are you tired of only spending time as a family huddled around the TV? Would you like to enjoy some culture with your loved ones without breaking the bank? Then let me introduce you to the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra. The GDYO provides music education and performance opportunities for musically talented youth, but this is no kids' concert. The GDYO comprises 7 different ensembles made up of over 425 talented musicians ages 8 to 18, representing more than 50 communities in North Texas. You won't believe how amazing these ensembles sound until you hear it for yourself. So join them for one of their concerts at the Meyerson Symphony Center or Dallas City Performance Hall. For more information on how to make a donation, as well as a listing of upcoming GDYO concerts, visit gdyo.org. And if you know a talented young musician interested in an unbelievable experience, auditions take place in the spring. Connect with the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and at gdyo.org.
Brad, well, we can take a quick look at the scoreboard here around District 6-5A. A couple games that we wanted to talk about. Both of them blowouts early. Just in Plano West was having their way with Plano East. We should have some finals here. It is a final, 42-7. Plano West, a winner over Plano East. And then McKinney Boyd just putting a whooping on Flower Mound, 46-6. And triple overtime final here.
Wow, and were they on certainly in the most competitive game?
Yeah.
Last night, the blowout, Allen 42, Plano 3, the two you just mentioned there. And then here you get the Lone Wolf, which couldn't have been more competitive at Marcus 24-21, the final over Hebron. And it took the Marauders to third overtime to ring up the win. And with the win, Coach Stanford's first Marcus Marauder bunch goes to 3 wins and a loss through 4. And Hebron goes in search of that win column next week and taking their act on the road to Max Goldsmith Stadium for the Louisville Fighting Farmers.
Weston Lynch caught up with Hebron head coach Brian Brazel down on the field just a minute ago, and got to be disappointed, Wes.
Coach Brazel come up a little short in triple overtime, losing the field goal at the end. It's a tough one for you and your team to swallow, but you've got to be proud of what they gave tonight.
Yeah, I mean, our kids battled. We've had a lot of adversity, and they just battled. There was times in the game looked like, oh man, we just keep battling. We kept battling. We made plays and to get turnovers and made stops. So they did things we needed to do, and I'm really proud of how our team played. There's things that we just got to keep working to get better on, and 2 games down and. District, we still got a lot of games left to play, and a lot of things to shake up before this thing's all over with. And so we just have got to keep our heads on and just keep battling every week. And but I couldn't be more proud of the kids. Like I told them before, and I told them after, I couldn't love them anymore. I can't love them any less because they're just awesome in what they're doing, and a lot of big plays tonight. And just like I said, real proud of the kids.
Like you said, a lot of big plays tonight. A lot of that coming on the defensive side of the ball with your outside linebackers able to get pressure on the quarterback, which completely changed the mentality of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job of controlling the line of scrimmage there for a while, and they had that one big break on that one right there at the end of the third quarter. That one really hurt, if we could have just made them have to – because, as long as we kept making them have to drive it and had to drive it, I felt like, but when we gave them that big gash and they made that big one, that kind of hurt us because it put – but – we had chances. We had chances to move the ball, but, had a chance to win the game with field goal at the end of the game. And, in the overtime, we just didn't do the things we needed to do. So we just got to get better. Those things we got to improve on.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
Do appreciate Brian Brazel. Do appreciate our colleague, Mr. Weston Lynch, for the hustle in getting the post-game interview. The final number, the big number, Marcus 24, Hebron 21. In 3 overtimes, but Pete, we've always said the devil's in the details. What about this one numerically?
Well, Marcus 21 first downs, Brad, and they rushed the ball 64 times.
My goodness.
64. And that Hebron defense held them to a field goal there at the end. That tells you what kind of football game, what kind of effort that was. 64 carries, 285 yards. Through the air, 5 for 13, the 1 interception. 49 passing yards, 334 yards of total offense for Marcus, by far the lowest that this Hebron defense has led up all season. And so Coach Mock, while he's going to be disappointed by the final result, he's going to be pleased with the effort of his defense. And that was the message that Weston had coming up from down on the field. And, a lot of sad faces, but, there's positives. Offensively for Hebron, only 10 first downs. And they rushed the ball 45 times for 205 yards. Again, probably definitely the low of the season. Through the air, 7 for 12. which is a positive, and only 46 yards. But Hebron 251 yards of total offense. Individually, Brad, I'll just run through a couple of them. Nate Hopkins is a man.
Had a good day. Had a really good game. Runs hard.
He is a starter kid of his big brother. He had 37 carries, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he wore people out. He just runs downhill and leans on you. He's a good running back. Jared Mack, 8 carries, 35 yards. How about Cade Irwin? Just, if you recall, a big play in that third overtime on that completion to the sideline. Hebron looked like they may be able to pick up the first down, but oh no. Cade Irwin comes up and ends that. 6 carries, 25 yards for him and a touchdown. For Hebron, Angelo Garbett, not a great night, but still over 100 yards, 23 carries, 103 yards for him. Trey Pugh played his heart out.
Yeah, he did.
9 carries, 26 yards. The touchdown on the ground, 1 through the air, and I'd be amiss if I did not mention the young man by the name of Derek Mueller. Just an outstanding job. Touchdown on the fumble recovery, a touchdown through the air, 5 catches for Mueller for Hebron, average of 7 yards, and that's something you don't see from Hebron this year. And if you can build on that and continue to build on that, the running game is there. And if you can just get to 60 or 70, even 100 yards of passing, like Coach Brazel said, still a long way to go in this season. And next week's, in my mind, a winnable game. So we'll see what happens. But this one's going to hurt for a little bit for this football team.
It kind of stings. And you look back at all the different turning points, as you mentioned, this thing like a crazy snake with all the twists and turns. One thing that stands out is that Marcus, defensively, that's a bunch that has some whiskers. They get
play
there
hard.
And play hard, hit hard. And Hebron just kept on fighting. Couldn't be any prouder of the Hawks, and I think Jerry Stanford has to feel pretty good about his Marcus Marauders. And they had not been in a fight like this since they lost the opener at Mansfield, but they were in a fight tonight. He
steps into a district like this, and I asked him, just a side point, I asked him during baseball season, I said, when you took this job, did you know this was going to happen? He said, I was hoping they wouldn't, but I said, Coach, you stepped right into it, but wow, his football team now 2-0 in this district, and that's going to go a long way because there's going to be fighting at the bottom, like you said.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it'll be fun. And hey, we'll reload.
Great job
and show
tonight,
up.
Weston.
And thank you, Weston, and thank you, Peter. Want to remind you that the Hebron Hawks here on Champion Sports Radio. It's a broadcast of Louisville ISD football, and it's brought to you by Huffines Chrysler Jeep Dodge Plano, where they provide everything automotive along with superb customer service. With a new or used Jeep, Dodge, Chrysler, or Ram from Huffines, well, you get a reliable and stylish new car, and you get it at a price that won't break the bank. By Whirly Ball with 2 locations to serve you. Find them in Plano and Hurst. Leagues forming right now at both locations. Visit them online at whirlyball.info. By In Command Broadcasting, that's a TV broadcasting and marketing company. Find them online at incommandbroadcasting.com. By Point of Origin Design, a full-service design and logo creation company offering a wide variety of imprintable and embroidered products online at pointoforigindesign.com. By shockboxdfw.com. Be warned instantly when a player has experienced a head impact that could result in a concussion. Visit shockboxdfw.com today. By the Greater Dallas Youth Orchestra and the new GDYO Jazz Institute. Enjoy a cultural experience with your family and do it without breaking the bank. Visit gdyo.org for more information. A reminder that Hebron Hawks football is a presentation of Champion Sports Radio. On Twitter at Champion Sports, Facebook.com/Champion Sports Radio, and online at ChampionSportsRadio.com. Our postgame programming this evening has been presented by In Command Broadcasting. For Peter Nielsen, for Weston Lynch, I'm Brad Denton from Hawks Stadium on homecoming at Hebron 2014. Marcus has to work overtime, in fact 3 of them, to get out of here a winner over the Hebron Hawks by a final count of Marcus 24 and Hebron 21. Thanks for your time. Until next time, So long, everybody.